Could it be? But me, your man, Louie T. Welcome to this NFL NFC East 2019 preview predictions recap video where I'm opening up the floor to you guys and giving you an opportunity to talk about this division, what you think is going to take place in 2019, some of the interesting storylines. This is a very young division with Haskins coming into Washington, Jones coming into New York, and Wentz already being entrenched as the starter in Philadelphia, and now really getting the keys with no Nicholas Foles as a security blanket and a safety net. He's got to stay healthy in Philadelphia in 2019 and moving forward. I see a Matthew Stafford type of trajectory for him in terms of health. Remember, Stafford was a guy that was very injured early in his career in Detroit, and I don't think he's missed a game since year 3 in Detroit. And I'm thinking the same thing is coming the way of Carson Wentz. We'll see what happens, but got the massive deal this offseason. Now he needs to live up to that. And then Dak is looking for his money in Dallas, and to me, not worth what he's going to get. He's asking for $40 million. I told you the next man up is the best man up, so he's going to get paid, and so we'll see what happens there. But every team in this division, I actually think the future's bright for the NFC East as a whole. And this is a young division with young teams that are talented, that I think the best is yet to come for the teams in this division. So when you look at the NFC East, not one of these teams in this division has an old quarterback holding on that, still playing at a high level, but a lot of young guys, and you're thinking that the future is with the guys that you have potentially taking over the mantle in some of these spots in the NFC East. As you've watched the video already, if you haven't, it's in the archives, NFC East 2019 preview and projections video. But if you haven't, the records that I think are going to take place in 2019 are scrolling across the screen above. Got the Eagles finishing first in the division at 11-5 to recap, going 4-2 in the division. Got the Cowboys finishing 9-7 after an 8-4 start. They flame out with a very tough month of December, 4 straight toughies to wrap up their season. They do beat the Redskins in Week 17, but that was before 3 straight losses to the likes of the Bears on the road. Also, they got the Rams at home. That's a tough one. And they also have the Eagles on the road is another tough one there for the Dallas Cowboys as they finish 9-7, 3-3 in the division, and just miss out on the postseason. Meanwhile, the Redskins do their annual thing. They go 7-9, which is what they've done the last 2 seasons. Will make it 3 as they go 7-9 in 2019, 3-3 in the division. So they actually do improve their divisional mark from 2018, but not enough to make it a postseason run. And also, you've got the Giants, who I just think is going to be absolutely awful in 2019. I could be wrong. I do not see good things in the future of the New York Giants. Golden Tate suspended for 4 games. They've already had a rash of injuries. They traded away a lot of their top-notch talent, a lot of young guys. And when you have a young football team like the Giants do, it's the blind leading the blind. Not a lot of guys that are going to mesh and gel together right away. And so there's going to be growing pains. They're going to be in some ball games. But to me, a lot of the talent was on the defensive side of the football. Well, you've gutted this defense. No more Landon Collins. No more the defensive end that you traded to the Browns. His name will come to me. Olivier Vernon. No more Olivier Vernon. This is a totally different football team than the one we saw last year. No, shame on you if you step to the old dirty back up. But there is hope. This is a young Giants football team. But again, with youth comes inexperience and losses. And there will be plenty of those to come for the Giants in 2019 as I have them going 3-13. So I will open up the phone lines here in a second. I want to pull up this video, have the comment section available so that I can read your comments, and I will turn you guys loose. Remember, Twitter is also open, although I'm pretty sure that you're not going to comment on Twitter because you never comment on Twitter. However, Twitter is open. I will be checking it periodically to make sure that there is no heat on Twitter. But we'll be reading from the YouTube chat discussion. Remember, if you're new to the chat discussion, use the hashtag LouieTLive to have your comment read on the air. And like I said, I will open up the phone lines and also give you an opportunity to call in there to voice your opinion on this division. And so, with that being said, I got the chat in front of me. Hey, Cruising, once again, man, really appreciate you, bro. Thank you so much for the super chat. I'm glad we still cool after your 3-13, man. Hey, salud and blessings to you, man. I really appreciate that. So, with that being said, let's get to the events this evening. Phone lines are now officially open. There's the number. Feel free to call in. I'll be keeping my eye on the phone lines. Meanwhile, I'll be reading your comments and reacting to them as the NFC East has been officially christened for 2019. The floor is yours. So we start with BE saying, I know I'm calling in. Well, your phone lines are open. We'll see what happens. Shaw Mack says, the only thing Wentz is entrenched in is the injury report, bro. It's not going to stay that way forever. You know, like I said, I think he's going to have the Matthew Stafford type of trajectory with in regards to his injuries. Stafford was really banged up the first couple of years, and then he just hit this magic potion, and he's been tough too. He's been banged up, but he's managed to stay in the lineup, and I think Wentz is going to have to suck it up now. They don't have the safety net of a guy like Big Dick Nick like they've had in the past, but I got to call him and go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
BE.
What's going on, BE?
But before I get into my predictions, I need you to hand over the crack. Crack kills.
What happened? What'd I do?
You're on some drugs if you think the Giants are going to beat the Vikings.
They why not? Why they can't beat the Vikings? Coming off of a bye.
Who's the receivers?
They get Golden Tate. Oh, well, that's not coming off a bye, but they get Golden Tate back in week 5.
Yes,
they got Evan. They got Evan Ingram, and their running back Saquon Barkley. I don't know if you heard of him. He can catch pretty goddamn good too.
I don't see them beating the Vikings.
They look.
Vikings defense is too good.
Check this out. I want y'all to focus less on who and focus more on the what. The who they beat is irrelevant. They're going to be 3-13. That's the bigger point. If I say a team's going 6-10, not necessarily the who. That's just how I feel about them. That's what you should be taking away from these breakdowns. Not necessarily the who are you beating, because a lot of times if you look at the way I do these schedules, and I try to not do this, but it's hard because a team is more likely to win at home than they are on the road. If you look at a lot of times when I do these schedules, a lot of these losses are on the road. That's not how the NFL works. You're not going to go 8-0 at home and 4-4 on the road and be 12-4. Most likely, if you're 12-4, you're going to lose a game at home or two, and you're going to win, lose another 2 or 3 on the road, but you're going to win some games on the road too. And a lot of times on these schedules, it's hit or miss with that. So a lot less on the who and a lot more on the what. They're going to stink. That should be your major takeaway for the Giants. They're going to be awful this year. 3-13.
Oh, they're going to be god-awful trash.
Yes. Okay. So we agree on that. We can agree to disagree on them beating the Vikings. I think they can beat the Vikings. We'll see. But another reason I think they can beat them is because of Kirk Cousins. I think the Giants know Kirk Cousins, and I think he may have a little bit of a flashback out in the Meadowlands and throw a pick or two, and all of a sudden the Giants luck into a win. But that's no here nor there. What do you think is going to happen in this division?
Honestly, I think just looking at the offense alone, all these teams have question marks.
Yeah.
The Cowboys, of that rumor of Dak wanting $40 million, that rumor was shot down. Yes, no, we don't know what's going on. The whole Zeke situation, I don't think that Cowboys are a good team without Zeke. I think he's what makes that team tick. The Redskins, who's their starter? They have Colt McCoy, they have Case Keenum, and then they have Haskins. With the Eagles, Wentz, in my opinion, is the best quarterback in that division.
Yep.
But he hasn't been able to stay healthy.
Yep.
Yes, that torn ACL was a fluke injury. It wasn't really injury, but it was more of just him trying to make a play and then got hit wrong. Yeah. And then the Cowboys with Dak. And then the Giants of Eli being Eli, he's getting up there in age. When are they going to start Daniel Jones? So all these teams have question marks on offense,
right.
Whether it be quarterback situation, the health quarterback situation, or in the Cowboys situation, their running back. I do think this is going to be a two-team race between the Eagles and the Cowboys.
Yep.
I'm going to give the Eagles the nod of winning the division based off they have all their pieces there. Mm-hmm. The Cowboys are going to be entering the season without their star running back.
Right.
Yes, they still have talent at the receiver position, and Jason Witten is back. And we all know, he's not what he once was, but Jason Witten can still make an impact or two. It's going to be an interesting thing with the Giants. I do not think Pat Shurmur deserves to get fired. He most likely will, but I don't think he does. I do think Dave Gettleman deserves to be fired because how the hell do you trade what you gave up? No, you trade what you traded, you deserve to get fired. Pat Shurmur, he's just working with what he has. I don't think he deserves to be fired. I think he deserves one more chance to see if he could right the ship. With the Redskins, I want to say this is Jay Gruden's last year, but you being a Redskins fan, you've already said that as well. We don't think it's going to happen. I honestly, this time, I think it's going to happen. I honestly think if Carson Wentz goes down with an injury again this year, people are going to start to wonder and consider, was that contract he was given worth it? And should they have gotten rid of Nick Foles? Because Nick Foles in talent level isn't Carson Wentz, but at least Nick Foles was able to stay healthy. He led them to a Super Bowl. He beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl.
Outdueled Tom Brady.
Almost led them back to the Super Bowl again the following year. Yep. So this division is going to be an interesting one. I don't think the division winner is going to hit 10 wins. I think 10 wins might be a max if they get to double-digit wins.
Okay.
I would say Eagles at 10-6.
Okay.
Cowboys at 8-8.
Okay.
Redskins at 7-9. And Giants at 2-14.
Oof. Yikes. Okay. Oh man. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me if the Eagles went 10-6. I really struggled with that Bears game, going back and forth. So I could see 10-6, but then again, I could see them going 5-1 in the division and them sweeping the Redskins and sweeping the Giants and only losing once to Dallas. So anything is possible. Like you said, the health of Wentz is going to determine how good the Eagles are. I definitely agree with you there. With the Cowboys, there's a lot of stuff swirling around with contracts and whatnot. I think Dak is fine if he doesn't get a new deal. Right now, he's not holding out. It's not an issue. He'll get his eventually. I think the real issue there is Zeke, and I think he'll get his, before. And it's crazy because I talked about this on my podcast, but I think he's going to get his before Dak does. And generally, that's not how it works. You got to pay your quarterback first. But in this particular situation where your quarterback isn't holding out and he's not making a bunch of noise and complaining, okay, well, take care. Squeaky wheel gets the oil. And in this situation, Dak isn't squeaky at all. He's showing up. He's doing everything that you want your leader to do. Okay, well, let's pay the guy that's making all the noise, that's holding out, that we need to win. And I think Jerry's going to take care of that. So when it's all said and done, I think the Cowboys will be fine there. I just got questions about their ability to duplicate what they did on defense because they were dominant defensively last year. Can they do that again? And then number two, can the offense duplicate what they did in the second half of the year with Amari Cooper coming on board?
Yeah.
If they can
do
that.
Amari Cooper and Dak are together for a full 16 games.
Yep.
And now they already have that chemistry from the end of last year. Can they continue that?
Right. And then you sprinkle in a little bit of Jason Witten. They missed him on third downs. They missed him in the red zone. So, you bring back a veteran like Jason Witten, that can only help. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do in this season. And also the Redskins, like I said, defensively, they're going to be in ball games if they're healthy. I think the defense is the strength of this football team. But again, how good is this defense? We really don't know. We just like the talent on this defense. And then take it a step further. What are you going to get out of the offense? You know, the offensive line seems to be a mess right now. A lot of question marks there. The left side in particular. And, you know, it still seems like we can't run the football. I don't really give a shit who's blocking up front. Still think it's going to be an issue running the football consistently. So this is going to be, like you said, an interesting division. I agree with you. Eagles first, Cowboys second, Redskins third, and the Giants bringing up the rear as the worst team in the division. So we're pretty much on par there, BE, man. And I appreciate the call, bro. I think we kind of see eye to eye on this thing.
The only thing we don't see eye to eye on is the Cardinals' record.
Nah, man. And you know what, though? Y'all are going to be a fun team to watch. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun teams to watch this year. You're going to be one of them. Maybe the most exciting team to watch coming this season. But I think what's going to hurt you guys is after the initial, because I think you're going to get out of the blocks fast. I think that teams are going to struggle with the offense and the speed of it and, you know, Kyler Murray and his dynamic ability, not just with his legs. Everybody wants to talk about his legs. His arm is live. You saw it with him throwing the football effortlessly to the boundaries out, you know, on those out-breaking routes. I think after about week 5 or 6, teams are going to catch up, start making adjustments, and that's when you're going to start seeing him struggle a little bit. Similar to the Alabama National Championship game where he just struggled early in that football game and couldn't get outside the pocket, and their speed matched his speed. And you're going to see some defenses that have enough speed to keep him in the pocket. There are a couple in your division that are going to give him problems. So it'll be interesting to see how he reacts when his speed isn't enough to get him out of trouble. So
the one thing that I do have that might be a little interesting is if the Giants start 0-4, which I could see them starting 0-4, I honestly think Pat Shurmur makes a switch. If he has a feeling that his job is on the line this year, I have a feeling if the Giants start 0-4, Pat Shurmur makes a switch to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, and I think you could say the same thing for the Redskins. If the Redskins stumble out of the gates 0-3, 0-4, I would not be shocked to see Dwayne Haskins week 5 against the Patriots or week 6 versus the Dolphins on the road. Like, if the Redskins get off to a really rough start.
Redskins, more week 6 versus the Dolphins, because that's more of a let's kind of get everything out. You know, it's a team that we're supposed to beat. We can beat this team. I wouldn't put Haskins in against the Patriots.
I don't think that. See, that's a fan thing. Like the coaching staff, the players, they don't see it as, oh, we can't beat New England, so let's not put him out there. They're just looking at it as, hey, let's start the kid at home. You know, he's sleeping in his own bed. A week of preparation at home. You don't have to go and travel. You don't have to shorten his week. Let's get him out in the game and get him out there at home. Like, they're not thinking about, oh, it's the Patriots, can't beat the Patriots. Like, it wouldn't shock me if Case Keenum and Colt McCoy are so bad early on in the season that they don't start in week 3 versus the Bears at home on a Monday night. Extra day of practice. You're at home. Yes, the vaunted Bears defense, but again, they're not thinking about it like we are as fans. Like, oh, we don't want to play them against the Patriots because they're going to get run. They're not thinking about it like that. They're like, hey, we're at home. You know, he gets to sleep in his own bed. It's a comfortable environment for him. We got a shot here. We like this spot. Let's put him in, you know. So it'll be interesting to see. Again, both of those teams are on rookie QB watch. If they start out slow, those rookies are getting in sooner rather than later in both of those instances. So, ABE, man, thanks a lot, bro. Definitely going to chop it up with you later on, probably even tomorrow when we talking AFC South. Have a good one, man.
You too.
Yep. So, there are going to be a lot of spirited conversations tonight. Obviously, I get passionate, not just about the Redskins, but the NFC East in general. It gets my juices flowing. This is my family here we talking about, man. And look, I can't stand a lot of these dudes in this division, but they family though. All right, so watch your mouth and come correct when you speaking about family. I'll go to bat for the Giants. I'll go to bat for the Eagles and the Cowboys because it's family. All right, you know how it goes when it's family. You know what I mean? I can talk about my sister. You can't talk about my sister though. Watch your mouth. So that's how I feel about the NFC East. We all family here. You know, you don't always get along with your second cousins. But they still family, though. So, this is going to be fun tonight. Got another call, gonna take it. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
It's your boy Nick. What's good?
What up, Nick and Knight?
Yo, you over here tripping, bro. You got us losing to everybody but the Redskins in your division. You got me tight as hell with that win.
I know.
I don't know what you...
Like I told BE, all right? Try to focus on not the who, but the what.
Fair enough, but that means your prediction for us about to be some booty holes. Somebody
Exactly. So you can start to put the pieces of the puzzle together. That's what you need to be focusing in on. Not who beating you, but what does that mean? I feel about your team coming up. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean I think y'all gonna stink. I just don't think y'all gonna be all that great. And you're playing a tough division, so we'll see what your record is. We get to y'all next week. That should be another interesting division because I think 2 teams are making it from your division. Are you one of them? We'll see. But anyway, what you think about this division, NFC East?
I think the Eagles is going to be the best team in the division. I just feel like they're more like complete as a team compared to like the other guys. Not that the Cowboys aren't either. The Cowboys got a good defense, but it just got the damn problem like B was saying with Dak and Cooper and Zeke. And I think though if Zeke does start like at the beginning of the year, I'm not sure he will. I think they could possibly end up going 10-6, but that's what I got the Eagles going.
Is that good enough to win the division?
I don't think he will be there to start the season though.
So is the Eagles 10-6 good enough to win the division?
Yeah, I got that's the only team I got coming out of the playoffs in there, and I got the Cowboys at 8-8.
Right.
I got the Redskins at 5-11. I think your receiving core is cheeks, bro.
I disagree with that. I vehemently disagree. Now, we're young, we're inexperienced, but I like that because there's a lot of room to grow with a young quarterback for the future. Like, when you look at our receiving core, I've seen all the rankings. I saw the ESPN poll that has our receiving core like 31st in the league.
Yeah, ain't your, like, number 2 receiver like the Trey Quinn guy?
He's not our number 2 receiver. He's going to be our number 3 receiver. Now, we're counting on big things from him in the slot, but if you're looking at our receiving core, our 2 starting receivers are most likely going to be Terry McLaurin as a rookie and Paul Richardson Jr., and then Trey Quinn in the slot. So that might not get you excited. I understand. That's fine. But we got a lot of young guys, Cam Sims, and we don't even know if Josh Dotson is going to make the team. That's how...
He's not just as ass as Treadwell.
Yeah, you know what? If we didn't have as much confidence in our receivers, I would have picked up the phone and said, "Hey, trade me him straight up. Let's just trade your trash, your first round trash for mine straight up. Let's see if a different environment."
To be honest, I'd rather have Dotson than Treadwell.
I'm pretty sure you would. And after seeing him struggle, I can tell it's just a confidence thing with him. His confidence is shot. It's all good.
But then I got the Giants going 3-13. Okay. Obviously, I think outside of Saquon, that whole team is trash.
Yeah, I know. They got some stuff on their team. It's just going to take a while for it to develop. So, Evan Ingram is a beast at tight end. But, again.
Yeah, Ingram is good, yeah.
They got some stuff. I like Sterling Shepard. He broke his thumb, though, but I like Sterling Shepard. They got some stuff. It's just all young. And then.
Same thing like they got Golden Tate, too, but, of course, he's suspended, too. He's good, too.
Right. He's suspended for the first 4. Similar to the Redskins, it don't matter what kind of talent you got. Who getting them the ball?
Yeah.
And can your offensive line give them time? And in both of those situations, you got a big question mark. You don't know.
Yeah, they might end up getting they're whoever there's the under quarterback them, which I'm assuming after a while it will be Daniel Jones. He's probably gonna get sacked the most out of everybody.
Yeah. That's why I'm not running away and going, bananas with what I saw in the week 1 of the preseason. I always say that, don't take preseason and run with it. But he looked good. But it's still preseason week number 1. A lot of backups in there, and it like my man was saying in the super chat or in the chat discussion, a lot of easy reads, a lot of quick get the ball out of his hands.
Yeah, honestly, Daniel Jones had a shit ton of time to throw the ball. This man had like all day to make them throws.
It's gonna change when the season starts.
Yeah, that's what I'm sure. I was watching. This dude got all day to throw the damn ball. But that touchdown pass he had was a dime. That was nice.
Yeah, it was.
Like, one thing I was going to say about the Eagles, though, I thought Nelson Aguilar was going to be ass, and he kind of was ass for a minute, but last year he was going off.
You mean 2 seasons ago? Last year.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, last year was a little bit of a down year for him. They were really excited about him the Super Bowl year, and that's when he came on like gangbusters.
Yeah.
And
he
then
was shitting on us.
remember,
everybody was.
Last year there were a lot of trade rumors surrounding him, like, "Hey man, y'all gonna go ahead and move him now?" Like, because he didn't play as well. They still like him. We'll see what happens this year if he has a bounce back season. But it'll be interesting to see what the Eagles look like because they really like Miles Sanders too. Their rookie running back out of Penn State.
He's gonna be good.
So it's like I said, this is a young division, man, full of talent everywhere.
Carson Wentz kind of scared me too, though, because I feel like he could get hurt again too.
That's a stigma he's going to have to overcome. A lot of people, you're not the first, you won't be the last tonight that is going to bring that up. He brought it up. I've talked about it. It's something he's going to have to overcome this season and moving forward. If the Eagles are going to be a legitimate NFC East Super Bowl contender, he's got to be healthy. He's got to be right. And we've seen when he's right, we've seen what this dude is capable of.
Yeah,
Nobody is debating that. But he's got to stay healthy. And the Eagles are betting on him. Right? They let Nicholas Foles go. They said Nate Sudfeld is good enough to be our backup. They are betting on him to stay healthy. So he's got to come through for them. They gave him the contract. He's got to stay healthy.
Yeah, they're screwed if he get hurt.
So, all right. So you got the Eagles at 11-5.
I said 10-6.
10-6. You got the Cowboys at 8-8. You got the Redskins at 5-11, and the Giants at 3-13.
Yeah.
All right. So there you have it. My man Nick and Knight has spoke. He has the Eagles winning the division at 10-6, and the Redskins and the Giants being awful in 2019. All right, man. Appreciate you chiming in, bro. As always, man. Be easy.
Be easy, bro.
Yep. All right. So right now it's Eagles. Eagles. E-A-G-L-E-S. Eagles winning the division. No one has said anything different. I think the Cowboys are going to be right there. I think most people that have chimed in thus far feel like the Cowboys are going to be right there. And it really, you're talking about the difference between, one game here, one game there. So we're going to see what happens. Got another call. Going to go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Sean Mack.
What's going on, Sean Mack? What's going on, Matt?
Not much. How you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, man. What about yourself?
All right.
Good. Talk to me about this division.
There's no way Wentz is staying healthy. He just can't do it.
I'm going to bet that he stays healthy this year.
He just can't do it. A fifth win, and he's out for a week. And their backup, Nate Sudfeld, he's out. He got hurt.
Right. I don't know the extent of his injury. I don't think it's like a season-ending injury. But
it's going to keep him out.
It's going to keep him out for a little while.
Period of time.
If Wentz gets hurt, it won't be early in the season. Wentz's injuries generally come towards the back end of the season. Week 11, 12, 13, somewhere in that back end. So even if, Nate Sudfeld is banged up to start the season, they won't need him early on. It'll be back into the season when they really need him. But I'm going to bank on Wentz staying healthy. Again, I think he understands his value to the team. So he can't be out here playing helter-skelter, diving around and not sliding. Like he's got to take care of his body. I think he understands that. He knows his role, and he knows what comes with that contract too. Him signing that contract means they believe in you, and you have to be on the field. And I think he will be a guy that'll be a little bit more conscientious of that this year.
When I look at the schedule, to me, he's going to get hurt. I look at the Eagles' schedule, and I look at October 13th or the 20th against Minnesota or Dallas with those two hard-hitting defenses. Somebody's going to get to him, I think. That's where it's going to happen.
He plays a slippery brand of football, so we'll see. We'll definitely see. You, like I said, you are the damn bearer of bad news. You always coming up here talking about somebody going to get hurt, man. Damn.
That's the NFL.
You're right. But you're not supposed to predict it. All right. So talk to me about this division. What do you have happening in this division? If you don't know, Sean Mack has been doing his own videos on his channel. So check him out. Before you leave, make sure you go ahead and put that plug in for your channel so people can come over there, check you out, and sub you up?
All right, it's just Sean McKenzie's YouTube channel. I don't know. Really don't pay too much attention to it, to be honest with you.
Go ahead.
But yeah, go check it out.
Yep.
I got Dallas going 11-5.
Okay.
Winning this division.
All right.
And getting the 4 seed.
Okay.
I got them going 5-1 in the division.
Can I ask? Hold on. Before I let you go, if they're the 4 seed, you got some teams really killing it in the NFC.
Yes, I do.
Okay. All right. I'm going to watch your video then. I'm not even going to elaborate. Go ahead.
I got the Eagles going 8-8. Because like I said, I think Wentz he's going to go down about midway through the season.
Okay.
I got your Skins going 5-11.
Okay.
And then I got the Giants going 4-12.
Okay, so the consensus right now is that the Giants stink and the Redskins are going to finish in third, and they're going to stink as well. And I don't necessarily disagree with that sentiment. The Redskins, to me, are going to be somewhere in that 8-8 to 5-11 range. I don't see them finishing any worse than 5-11. I don't see them finishing any better than 8-8. 9-7 if the ball bounces their way and everything goes right and they take full advantage of every opportunity that comes their way. But can't see them winning double-digit games this season. So I don't necessarily disagree with your 5-11. As far as the Cowboys going 11-5, that's actually not out of the realm of possibility. I got them losing games at Washington and at New York. Those could easily be wins, and if they are wins with the schedule that I have set up, they're 11-5 just like you have them, and 5-1 in the division. So I could definitely see them going 11-5 if they were able to take care of business inside the division. You got the Eagles going 8-8. You got Wentz getting hurt, and that's the basis for your 8-8. I just don't see him getting injured, and so I think that you could easily flip-flop those two teams. Say the Cowboys go 8-8 and the Eagles go 11-5, but we'll see what happens. It's an interesting division because you could see either one of those two teams winning in the division. It wouldn't shock me if the Cowboys win this division, and let's say Wentz doesn't get hurt, and the Cowboys still win the division at 11-5, 10-6. It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me if the Cowboys went 8-8. It wouldn't shock me if the Eagles went 8-8. It wouldn't shock me if they went 11-5, which is what I have them going. I think this division is really fascinating. And then I just love the fact that even the garbage teams in this division, the Redskins and potentially the Giants, that we don't think are going to be very good, even they got a storyline because, hell, if they stink, there's still a reason to watch. You know what I mean? In past years, when the Redskins were bad, there's no reason to watch. Now, even if the Redskins are 4-8, 4-9, back into the season, hell, it's Dwayne Haskins time. Let's see him. Let's see what he's got. If the Giants stink, and they got 3 primetime games, let's say they're on a Monday night late in the season, you're like, man, the Giants are garbage. I don't want to watch this game. Now you got a reason to watch. They got Daniel Jones out there. There's a reason to watch the game.
I ain't watching Daniel Jones. How about that? He stinks.
Hey, well, at least you want to see it so you can say, yeah, he's garbage. You want to see it. You want to be able to point and laugh and say, yeah, I told you he was garbage. You want to be able to say that. So you're going to watch. Either way. Whether it's a train wreck or there's light at the end of the tunnel, you're going to watch because you want to be able to say, if it's a train wreck, hey, I predicted that train wreck. I told them that was a bad pick at 6. So you're going to watch. And that's the intrigue of this division. So, hey, Sean Mack, man, again, y'all check out his channel. If you haven't already done so, sub the man up. Check out his content. He's got the entire 2019 playoff picture laid out with a Super Bowl prediction and everything. This man is taking it a step further, so check him out. Hey, Sean Mack, as always, it's a great pleasure to chop it up with you, man. Be safe out there in them streets, and you take care.
Yep, love you and family.
Hey, no doubt. All right. So, moving right along to the comment section, Derek B says, what up, Lou? Sorry I'm late. He says, I'll be pissed if we go 7-9 and Haskins doesn't play at least 10 games. I'd rather let him play and go 3-13. So here's my thinking. At 7-9, Derek, I think we're going to actually see Haskins somewhere in week 5 or 6. I really believe that to be the case. Now, with my scenario, Redskins starting off the season 2-2, the likelihood of him getting that week 5 nod, highly unlikely. But you never know. Hold on, we got to call him. We're going to take this, and then we'll come back to that comment. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
This Emperor Meach, man. What's up?
What's going on, Emperor Meach?
It's been a minute, man.
It has, bro.
So,
It really has.
Let me chime in, bro.
Yes, talk to me.
Man. So, I got the Eagles win the division like everybody else do.
Okay.
I don't think they got the best team, but, of course, you got to put an asterisk next to that because Carson Wentz is, like, fragile.
Yep.
So, I'm going to put them at 10-6.
Okay.
I got the Cowboys going 8-8.
Yep.
They got some turmoil going on over there. I don't know how that's going to play out with Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott. They got to pay Amari Cooper.
Yep.
They got
Byron Jones. It's a lot of guys they got to get paid over there. That's what happens when you got a lot of young talent, man. It's a lot of money they got to shell out.
Right, because that window closing, and people was mentioning, like, if you pay Dak that $40 million, which is outrageous,
Yep.
that team going to have to be gutted. So,
yeah.
I
Some
don't know
good football players are not going to be able to be re-signed. And he's going to get the money. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, this is the thing. Had they had the foresight, like the Eagles, to pay Dak earlier, you wouldn't be in this conundrum. See, when you wait till the last minute, you got to learn from the Kirk Cousins situation. Pay quarterbacks early. All right?
Right.
Pay them early. 2-3 years left on their deal. Say, hey, man, I believe in you. Here's $150 million. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Pay them early. Get that shit over with. No, everybody want to wait till the last minute. Well, this is what happened when you wait till the last minute. Now he got him by the balls. Because now everybody's going to use that Kirk Cousins contract negotiating tactic where they say, hey, look, I want the next 2 years of franchise tag money plus the money you paying me this year. If you ain't even talking like that, because that's what Dak's thinking is. He's saying, I'm going to get $30 million on the franchise tag the next 2 years plus the 2 years, the $2 million I'm making this year. So that's where that whole $69 million number has come out at, because that's what he'll be making over the next 3 years.
Right.
If you don't give him the long-term deal, he's like, I'll take that.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
but
you
I
don't.
was talking to a Cowboys fan at work. He was like, man, he crazy. He need to take that offer I was given to him. I'm like, you asking for more, man? He was like, I can tell you right now, as a Cowboys fan, he ain't worth that much money. I'm like, what you gonna do?
Right, exactly. You got a gun to your head. What you gonna do?
But I don't know what's going on with them. But I got them going 8-8.
Right.
Then I got the Skins going 6-10. I think they're gonna be better than the Giants, and let me get to them in a minute.
Oh, I know. I know you got a lot to say about the G-Men, your boys. We gonna get to them in a second.
And then I think the Skins, I know y'all got a problem with Trent Williams, and I'm curious to see how that plays out because I was reading a Bleacher Report, that he might be traded real soon. I'm like,
so
know,
Bruce
man.
Allen,
especially if you're gonna put Haskins behind that line, that might be a little shaky. You don't want to get him punch drunk. So
So
I don't know.
Bruce Allen has come out and said that he's not trading him. There was a interview that Adam Schefter did on the radio program today where he said the Redskins have had 7 teams contact them, 7, about
and they rejected them all, right?
and told them we're not trading them. So right now, it doesn't seem like they're willing to talk. But look, they're going to come to their senses closer towards the season, realize that this man is not coming back, and they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him.
Yeah. So I mean, they got some stuff. Just got to season the talent a little.
Right. Yeah.
And then Giants.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
Straight trash, man. Look, as a Giants fan, look, I'm gonna keep it honest. I'm a realist. I'm like, we suck. And then if you say that, oh, you're not a real fan. Oh, blah blah blah. Like, shut up. I'm not gonna kiss the ass of the team. Like, it's not a good roster.
Right.
I'm like, who's beating you over the top? I'm like, Saquon about to get ran into the ground.
Yep.
And I'm like, there's still some offensive line issues. And then you have the EHOB or the MEGA movement, as we call them, make Eli great again. Or
right.
EHOB. It's like, they just want to think, oh, you get Eli a line, he could be great.
Yeah.
Oh, he has Saquon, he can be great. It's like, I know the excuse coming. Every year, there's some excuse as to why he can't succeed.
Right.
It's either the line, it's either the defense, it's either he doesn't have a tight end,
Right.
doesn't have a running back. Now they're going to say, and I'm ready for it, he doesn't have any wide receivers.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't have traded Odell Beckham.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I don't know with them, man. They make me mad. And then Dave Gettleman, look, I'm somebody who likes to sit back and wait. but I never felt comfortable with him getting the job
At all.
So
At all.
I'm like, yeah, he got to go.
Yeah.
He's got to go. He's too outdated. It's just like he's stuck in 1984, and it's 2019, about to be 2020.
Right.
Like, bro. And then the stuff he was saying about the draft, like, oh, we think Daniel Jones is going to be great, and we had the same ranking with him as we did at Josh Allen. Really?
Yeah.
Who else thought that?
Right.
Who else thought Daniel Jones was a comparable talent to Josh Allen?
Yeah.
Nobody.
You won't find many people that will agree with that assessment.
I don't know, man. He's got to go. I'm iffy about him. We'll see how things go. Let's see how he manages the season. That'll tell us everything we need to know. But I think they're going to be an awful team.
How you feel about Pat Shurmur? I think
he's a guy. Listen to his temperament and the way he speaks. He's calm, so that rubs off on players the right way. Compared to former coaches like Tom Coughlin, how he was like really rough and like militaristic and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's a different change of pace, but at the same time, like the problem what they said he had in Cleveland was like he was a little sensitive to like the news and whatnot, and he would take things to heart.
Yeah.
It seems like he still does that.
Yeah.
And he just comes across as like a guy who probably is better as a coordinator.
Yeah.
And honestly speaking, I think after he's done with the Giants, he's probably not going to be another coaching job because they're going to look at his record with the Browns and with the Giants and be like, oh, this guy's, he's trash.
Right.
So I think he better get it together because I don't think they're going to start off hot.
Yeah.
And they're going to be bad, and then shit's going to hit the fan. They'll be like, oh, put Daniel Jones in. And he's probably going to want to stay with Eli for a little bit longer than they want to. And then he's going to throw in Daniel Jones to try to save his ass. I think Shurmur is he's like one of those bottom-tier coaches. Like, you might be able to win with him, but I'm like, And plus, there's, concepts that I didn't like, for example, with Saquon Barkley. You can use him more better as a receiver and whatnot, and they didn't do that last year. I'm like, why? Everything was a check down. They're not running any wheel routes. They're not motioning them out. They're not putting them in the slot. They're not doing anything. So I'm like, he can be more creative with his offense.
Yeah, I remember everybody killing him.
They're just going to be awful, man.
Everybody killed him last year, that second half of that Eagles game when y'all dominated him in the first half, and Saquon got, 1 or 2 touches in the second half?
Yep. You got to remember, he's an Andy Reid disciple. Andy Reid does that too.
Yeah.
They do that. They just say, oh, let's just stop giving the running back the ball. I don't understand it, but it is what it is. And then you have the B reporters saying, oh, the Giants, they can shock people. We're really not shocking anybody. Stop it. They're not a good team.
Yeah.
They're not a good team. And the games they won last year were against, what's the backup for Chicago? I forgot his name.
Chase Daniel.
He used to be the Eagles' backup.
Chase Daniel.
Not his name.
Chase Daniel.
And then, Nick Mullins in San Francisco. They barely won that game.
Killed us. We had Josh Johnson destroyed us, and Josh Johnson came in late, but we had
they had Johnson,
Mark Sanchez first. Dirty Chaz started the game first.
And it's just they won against garbage teams, and people were giving them props like, "Oh, they can be better." No, stop it. So they're going to be awful, man.
It'll be very interesting to see how this season plays out for the Giants, just because of all the things you mentioned. And you know what? I got this vibe from Pat Shurmur last year that he wasn't really feeling Eli last year. If he had,
I believe that too.
You know what I mean? I really felt like if Daniel Jones was on the roster last year, he would have played last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm thinking in my mind, Eli's got a short leash this year because he's not with the shits with Eli. If you go out here. Right. And I see some situations, because there were situations last year early in the season where Shurmur felt like Eli could have stood in the pocket, stood tall, and delivered the football down the field, and instead he's checking it down. And then I would watch the film, and I'm like, yo, Eli, there was some options down the field, bro. You can't check it down on 3rd and 13. If you got dudes, running down the field 20 yards, one-on-one, you got to give him a chance. So Shurmur was seeing that, and he was like, man, this is some bullshit. And I'm thinking,
because there was a couple clips of him throw the ball to Odell or whatnot because it was open, and Odell was getting mad I'm open.
Right.
Where are you throwing it to?
Right. So I'm thinking that if shit goes sideways early, it's going to be Daniel Jones quick. You know, I don't think he's going to stick with Eli too long. I really think it's going to be a quick hook. So it'll be interesting to see because, you know, a lot of people are holding on in that New York media to Eli and, you know, the 2 Super Bowls and, you know, all of that bullshit. Look, his time has come. It's gone. The future is Daniel Jones. Whether you like it or not, it's time to move on. And if Eli ain't getting it done, you know, especially if you think the offensive line is going to struggle, well, you need an athlete back there then. You need somebody that can run. Eli ain't running no goddamn way.
The Miga movement, they just, it's always somebody else's fault with the quarterback. You can't have everything perfect on the roster. If everything is not perfect on the court and the quarterback still can't succeed and he needs everything perfect, he's not that guy.
Right.
Look, it's time to move on. They did it with Phil Simms back in the day.
Yep.
And let me comment because I forgot, I think it was Sean Mack who said it. The reason Daniel Jones had so much time to throw in that preseason game because that was the first team offensive line.
Right.
They didn't want to let him get hit.
Right.
That was the first team offensive line.
And
they didn't put him out there with the second team or anything. And there's been reports now today, there's like, oh, Eli went 0-4 in red zone drills, and then Jones went 4-4. There's like, is it a controversy? I'm like, eventually, if he keep playing like this, it will, because that preseason game last week, they were booing the hell out of Eli.
Right. Yep. I'm telling you, it's going to be quick. I think the hook is going to be quick.
My food's starting to burn.
All
right,
yeah.
man. Let me...
All right, yeah, go ahead. We don't want no fires going on, man.
Yeah, my food's starting to burn.
All right, man. Have a good one. Oh, man. That was the perfect way to end that call because there's going to be some fires in New York. It's going to be hard for them to put them shits out, man. They better hope Daniel Jones is the real deal. So that was the perfect ending to that call. Oh, man. The 20th Mike says, Cowboys look to the best to go to the promised land in the Super Bowl. They have a dangerous defense and an offense to be able to compete against any team. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree with that sentiment at all. We got another call. I'm going to go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, this is Dragon Phenomenon. What's good, Lou?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, man. I usually don't call in when you're doing your own family business, man. But I get my predictions real quick.
All right. Let me hear them.
All right. So I got the Eagles winning the division like everybody else do.
Mm-hmm.
But where you and I differ is between the Cowboys and the Redskins.
Okay.
Now, the reason why I say we differ is because the Cowboys definitely got some contractual issues coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if the viewers know about the Three Musketeers, but they had a saying called all for one and one for all, and I don't think Dallas has that mantra. And when you don't have Zeke Elliott and Dak Prescott, their minds are not totally in the game, you're going to lose a few.
Mm-hmm.
So I got the Redskins, your Washington Redskins, coming out the division as a wild card. Dallas with their contractual issues, I got them finishing up third in division, and I got the Giants bringing up the cellar.
I would pay money for that, bro, but it just ain't in the cards, man. I hear what you're saying, though. And to your point, those issues may impact them this season, and it may bring them down, but that doesn't elevate the Redskins. I don't see happening. But I'm critically wrong about two teams every year. I never know what two teams it's going to be, but every year I am dramatically wrong about two teams. Last year, those two teams were the Chiefs and the Bears. I thought both of those teams were going to be average to below average football teams. Both of them were exceptional. Both of them won their divisions. Both of them were really good football teams. I'm going to be wrong about two teams this year. I'm hoping one of them is my Redskins. I don't think it is. I think one of those teams is going to come out of the AFC South when I do my breakdowns tomorrow. I know for a fact one of those teams is going to come out of the South. So it'll be interesting to see, if what the Cowboys do, because it is a distraction. Just like with the Redskins with the Trent Williams situation. It is a distraction. And I know a lot of people, it's cliche to say, oh, it's a distraction. These are legitimate distractions for teams that don't need distractions. The Cowboys handle distractions a little bit better than the Redskins because they've won in the midst of controversy in the past. They've won despite Jerry Jones spouting off at the lip. The Redskins don't win in the face of adversity. They don't win with controversy surrounding them. They don't perform well in those environments. So I think it's going to impact the Redskins more than the Cowboys. So we'll see. But I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
One reason why I say that is because while you have a contract and possible holdout with Zeke Elliott, Washington looking pretty good with Darius Geis and Adrian Peterson. So that's a huge discrepancy when you got one running back that's threatening to sit out the entire season, a la Le'Veon Bell. That's a problem. That's not something you can just plug and play a guy.
Right.
You got two guys that's committed to your organization, one on a rookie deal, one still trying to prove that he has anything left in the tank. That's a problem.
They trying to sell us on the fact that they love Tony Pollard.
You tell me who's gonna stack the box against both Adrian Peterson and Darius Geis. Don't let them both be on the field at the same time. Disaster.
Well, first of all, as Redskins fans, we don't even know what that looks like.
Peterson, tear us up. So believe me when I tell you, him and Darius Geis are very formidable.
We don't, as Redskins fans, we don't even know what that looks like. We still don't even know what Darius Geis looks like in a Redskins uniform in a regular season game. We don't even know what Darius Geis looks like playing in a whole preseason game. The man has not started and finished a NFL game, regular or preseason yet. So we don't even know what Darius Geis, and he still hasn't been medically cleared by the training staff to even play in a game. So while we like Darius Geis, we can't possibly love Darius Geis. We don't even know what he is in a Redskins uniform. And Adrian Peterson, the AD that you know, that used to tear your Lions a new asshole, is dead and gone. He's still a good football player, but he's not the guy that's rushing for 1,500 yards. He rushed for over 1,000 last year, and that was a hell of a feat in itself behind that Redskins' porous offensive line. So that shows you that he still got a little something left, but Zeke Elliott in his prime versus what the Redskins have in their backfield isn't even close. And I think the Cowboys, like Tony Pollard, they're trying to sell us on, oh, we got Tony Pollard. Stop. They're talking about, oh, he's going to be the next Alvin Kamara. Zip it or I'm going to break your hip. All right? Stop your nonsense right now. All right? Stop it. Yeah. You know, when you talking crazy like that, they definitely need to wash their face and get their mind right if they think that's a smart idea to be making crazy statements like that.
You know who else don't know what he looked like in a Redskin uniform? The Eagles, the Cowboys, and the Giants. They don't know what he looks like either. Mm-hmm. So he's going to be hard to game plan for when he is available. I'm just saying, give your Redskins a little bit more optimism. I know it looks like a bad season, but once you see Darius Geis rip off 250, you're going to be like, maybe I should rethink things a little bit. I'm not saying they're going to run away with the division, but I'm saying it's very possible they can overtake Dallas for the wild card.
Hey, LP, you make a very convincing argument to somebody that's not following the team every day, but I hear what you're saying. It ain't enough optimism out there, bro, to change my mind. The Redskins are a 7-9 football team this year. Whether Darius Geis, it'd be great if Darius Geis burst onto the scene, plays his ass off this year. It'll give me hope for the future. Not in 2019, though.
He got something to prove, too, though. He also got something to prove. He missed his entire rookie year. Never doubt a runner who has absolutely nothing to lose, who runs for their life.
We'll see. I'm not doubting Darius Geis. I'm doubting the Redskins football team as a whole. So we'll see. But hey, man, LP, appreciate the call, bro. Really do.
No problem, bro. I had to chop in on your division one time, man.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. Be easy.
Yep.
All right. So LP trying to sell me on my Skins this year as a wild card. Not gonna happen, bro. And we still got a number of questions to answer ourselves. And just like my man Emperor Meach was saying, you know, when you're not, like I had a Redskin fan tonight, you know, talking about he unsubscribed after I had the Redskins. I get that shit all the time. That shit don't faze me any. That shit does not bother me one bit when I get Redskins fans telling me that I'm not a real fan because I don't have the Redskins going 10-6, 11-5, winning the division this year. Are you crazy? Or are you outside of your damn mind? I just, fans like that, I don't know what they're expecting. They think everybody's supposed to have rosy colored glasses on and think that the team can do no wrong. Have you not been watching the Redskins organization over the last 25 years? Because if you have and you still think nothing but the best of this organization, then you need to wash your face and get your damn mind right. Hell is wrong with you. So, hey, if you don't like it, too bad. It's the truth. But I got a call coming in. I'm going to take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Yes, Louie, this is Rob.
Hey, what's going on, Rob?
Hi, I'm going to have a little bit of a Cowboys hot take for you.
All right. I'm ready for
it. It's going to come after a little bit of rant, though. I'm a little bit sick and tired of the Rams fans on, well, for one thing, I want to just start talking about the media first. This America team has got to stop. I can't stand that word. I have an alternative fan base. I'm going to call it the AT Cowboys fan. That's what I am. Mm-hmm. But it's against the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. But, or I guess you could call them America's team Cowboys, because I have a funny feeling that there'll be more of me than there are Cowboys fans. Yeah. But anyway, it just seems awfully, idiotic that like ESPN and Fox Network have these talk shows where it just seems like every single day they have to open up with Cowboys talk.
Well.
And I'm getting sick and tired of it. And, I guess I'll be talking specifically about, in this case, Skip Bayless and Max, well, not Max, but Will Kane on...
Will Kane is a Dallas writer, and Skip Bayless is an ex-Dallas writer. He's a Dallas Cowboys fan, and it's an East Coast bias. The Cowboys move the needle. Whether you like them or not, they sell, they get eyeballs. Like, the fact that you're talking about them now and how they talk about them and how they lead off every program, that's what they want. You hate them, so you tune in.
That's how it's going to be, because that's where they're in that position. Mm-hmm. But, it's just, even when I look at, I watch a lot of YouTube, so, it's not just Redskins I watch all the teams. Mm-hmm. There's a couple of Cowboys people that I watch, and it just feels like they're a little bit moronic too, but, there's one in particular. He likes to compare. He's trying to put a good spot on Dak Prescott, and so it's like he likes to compare certain years of his to like Russell Wilson will say, and so he likes to point at Russell Wilson's first 3 years and Dak Prescott's first 3 years, and it's like, it's moronic anyway. But so I get really ticked off at him.
The two are not comparable.
No, they're not.
No.
If people right now are like saying like Dak Prescott has the second best record for his first 3 years, or the second best record in his first 3 years, and that's they're comparing that to Tom Brady, and it's like,
what has he won though?
He hasn't.
Tom won in his first time.
Let's see.
What has he won? That's the thing.
He's won 32 regular season games in his first 3 years.
Yeah, don't talk to me about the regular season. Don't talk to me. The regular season is nice, but legacies are made in the postseason. So don't talk to me about the regular. Like, it's amazing when people bring up stats like that, because I've always said this about numbers. You can make numbers say whatever you want them to say to support your narrative, or to tear down a player, to build up a player, because you can extract certain numbers and apply them to situations where you want them to fit your narrative. But you could take that same number and say, okay, well, what's his postseason record?
Right.
You know what I mean? How many turnovers does he have in the postseason? What's his passer rating? What's his QBR in the postseason?
The same amount of postseasons as Jared Goff. Well, Jared Goff has already got, just one more win, but
got his team to a Super Bowl. He got his team to a Super Bowl though. You know, you can say
Yeah,
what you
that's
want.
right,
Oh,
yeah.
he didn't play well, this, that, and the third. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, he won games in the playoffs. And Dak hasn't really been able to do that. They won one game last year against Seattle. All right. And he was
they won
you
by
could
2
argue
points.
he was awful in that game. And you could also argue that, Brian Schottenheimer limited Russell Wilson to the point where it gave Dallas a chance to win the damn game. If they would have let Russ go, they probably win that damn game. But that's another discussion for another day.
And what I just want to say about the media is that the media Cowboy fans, that they kind of, a wise man once said that you have to play the hand you're dealt. And I just have a funny feeling that just these high-end Cowboy fans, they're just not playing with a full deck. And it's like, I was looking at TV here for a sec. I guess what I'll do is I'll go ahead and get to my hot point. Dallas Cowboys are going to finish 7-9.
Okay.
And they're going to lose their first game. The hot point was they're going to lose their first game to the New York Giants, even with the New York Giants being as bad as they are.
That's a big statement because
even
without Zeke, I think they're capable of beating them.
Even without any receivers for the Giants, I just have a funny feeling that that's how that's going to go. Dallas has never been a great home team.
They're not. You're right.
And one thing I'm going to say is that I think that Zeke Elliott is not going to play the first 5 games. And he's going to come to camp a little bit overweight, and I don't know how long it'll be before he actually gets into playing shape. So that's something that I guess could be a hot take too. And I just don't. Dak Prescott, I'm not that impressed with. I still am not. I don't see them, winning that many games this year.
So, who do you have winning this division? What are your records for the other teams in the division?
I'll give Eagles 11 wins.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give the Redskins 8 wins.
Okay. Got the Cowboys with 7.
I don't know what to say about the Giants. I don't know. It's so tough to predict their record with their quarterback situation, but that's beside the point.
Okay.
It's going to be last place.
Got you. All right, Rob. Hey, man, I appreciate you chiming in, man.
Hey, anytime I be calling now, it'll probably be with a little bit of Dallas Cowboy rant attached to it.
Hey, appreciate you.
Yep.
Take care. So, Rob actually thinks they're going to lose the first game of the season to the Giants. And he got Zeke being out the first 5 weeks. Even if he's out 5 weeks, I don't think he's going to come in out of shape. But that's no here nor there. If Zeke's out the first 5 weeks, the Cowboys are going to suffer because of it. They've got some winnable games at the beginning of the season, and him missing even the first 3 weeks of the season could be costly for the Cowboys. So I think he'll be there by week 1. I really do. I can't see him missing any regular season action. I think the Cowboys get it done in terms of a deal before the season starts, but we'll see. Got a call, going to take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Louie T, this is JP. What's going on, man?
What up, JP?
Hey, sorry it took so long. I just got off work. I'm heading home now.
No problems, bro. Turn your monitor down because I can hear the echo in the background.
I apologize.
Oh, you good, man. It's all good. All right.
Better?
Yep, much better. So, I know you got a lot to say. This is your division, much like it is mine. So, talk to me about the NFC East as a whole. Then give me your assessment of each team and where you think they're going to fall in 2019.
Well, that's a good question, honestly. This division is so hard to predict. The NFC East hasn't, had a repeat champion in almost a decade, almost 15 years. I think it was the Eagles. So it's hard to predict year in and year out. You never know who's going to be good in this division, considering how historic it is, and the rivalry between these four teams gone for forever.
Yep.
I will say this: this division is counting on how good this division is all going to depend on consistency, the quarterback play, how good the running backs are, and how good the defenses are.
Yep.
Records. It's hard for me to predict the Cowboys or the Eagles winning this division, considering that with the Cowboys, this Ezekiel Elliott holdout could go pretty far into the season. There's a very low possibility that he even plays this year if he doesn't get his money. He already said that he's not going to come in and play until he gets paid. I do have to say, and the Eagles, it's hard to predict how good they're going to be because Carson Wentz, it all depends on Carson Wentz's health, and that if he can play the full 16 and go into the playoffs fully healthy, which he hasn't done that yet, so I'm skeptical. I will give the Eagles a chance. I think they're going to be up there in the division. I'm going to give them maybe 11 wins, 11-5. But that all depends on the health of Carson Wentz.
Right. Absolutely.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a shocker here. I know you said the Redskins aren't going to be very good. You told us that many times that they're a 6-win team. I think they're a much better team than people give them credit for. I think they're going to win 8-9 games because I think we're going to win games on defense and running the football.
Yep.
And I'm going to give them 8 or 9, maybe 10 wins. I think we're going to be up there in second place. I think we could be. I still believe that we can be good with this defense running game. And I've said I'd love to see Dwayne Haskins go on the field and show us that he was worthy of being a first-round pick for us, and that he's going to come in and prove. And hoping to see him come in and prove doubters wrong.
Well, you
third
can't.
Place,
JP, let me stop you real quick. You can't have it both ways. If Dwayne Haskins is playing, that means the Redskins aren't winning 8 or 9 games. The likelihood of him getting in is if the Redskins struggle early in the season. So if you think the Redskins are winning 8 or 9 games, then the likelihood of you seeing Dwayne Haskins goes down dramatically if they're in it late in the season. If the Redskins struggle out the gate and the two quarterbacks haven't really, separated themselves from the pack, and they're thinking to themselves, if we're going to struggle at the quarterback position, we might as well do it with the young guy. Then you'll see Haskins earlier, sooner rather than later. So if you really think in your heart of hearts the Redskins are going to win 8 or 9 games, possibly 10, that's probably going to happen with Case Keenum or Colt McCoy at quarterback. Most likely Case Keenum.
Well, that is, I believe so too. I do think that this team, it's hard to predict considering our first 5 games are against death row. I mean, we've got Philadelphia on the road, Dallas at home, the Bears on Monday night at home, the Giants. I thought the Giants is actually a winnable game week 4.
Yep.
And the Patriots coming into FedEx is probably a death note. But again, like you said, it all depends. I think if we struggle, I think we're going to see Haskins at some point. I still think we can be good. I just don't know how long it's going to take for the team to get turned around.
Yep.
And as for the Cowboys, it's hard for me. Again, I'm not confident in Dak Prescott. I'm not really that confident in Dak Prescott taking the Cowboys by himself because Ezekiel Elliott is the engine that Cowboys offense goes through. And Amari Cooper, Cooper's good and all, but to me, he's not a legit number 1 wide receiver. He's a number 2 at best. He did have a good season last year when he came to Dallas, much better than his first few games in Oakland. I can see them. I think they missed playoffs by maybe 1 game. I think last game of the season, I think they just missed it. And then the Giants. Oh my God, the Giants. I think they're going to be again probably playing for maybe a top 5 draft pick again.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. That offense. I mean, Barkley's going to be the only guy that they have on offense right now. Beckham's gone. Beckham's gone. play the first 4 games. He just had his 4-game suspension upheld.
Yep.
He tried to appeal and he lost and he lost it. Mm-hmm. And the Giants don't really have anything on defense either. I mean, you got Dexter Lawrence, you got DeAndre Baker, but I'm not really. I think this Giants team may be a 4-12 team.
Yep.
I mean, Barkley's going to. Don't get me wrong, Barkley's great and he's going to win them some games, but eventually they're going to burn him out halfway through the season. That's what worries me the most, is that they're going to burn Barkley out too much. And luckily the guy's a huge workhorse, but it's just hard for me to think that the Giants are doing anything this year. So I've got them going 12-4.
Oh, you mean 4-12?
4-12.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't necessarily disagree with anything you said about the Giants, and we've pretty much echoed those sentiments here on the program. As far as Dallas is concerned, again, it's going to be an interesting season. I disagree with you about Amari Cooper. He's definitely a number 1 in this league, especially, I mean, seeing what he did last year. I've had my doubts about him in Oakland. Sometimes he seemed, to have that I don't really care demeanor where you really don't know if he loves the game of football or not. That's all seemed to change when he got to Dallas. He was back to the guy that we've seen in this league at times rip it up. He was outstanding for the Cowboys last year, and I'm anxious to see what he does in 2019 with a full season with the Cowboys, because he came in midway through the season last year and tore it up. You being a Redskins fan, you should know firsthand he ate our ass alive.
That was that Thanksgiving game was so hard to watch.
Yeah.
I actually turned it off after halfway through the third quarter. I just couldn't bear it anymore.
It was rough.
But yeah, I do agree that Cooper has gotten much better when he got to Dallas. And he is. I think he's. It's hard to predict wide receivers in this league, to be honest. And I do agree that he may have changed his status from a number 2 to a number 1 wide receiver. I just don't know if he and Prescott, at some point, if Zeke doesn't play, if Zeke ends up missing, and there's already reports that he's preparing to miss games until he gets paid. Teams are going to figure out the Dak to Cooper connection. Mm-hmm. They don't have Cole Beasley anymore, which I think should scare them a bit. I mean, you saw how lethal Cole Beasley is. We saw it last year. Mm-hmm. And I think the loss of Cole Beasley is going to hurt that offense. They do have their offensive line is still great. Travis Frederick is back. I think they're gonna be much better than they were last year when Travis Frederick got injured. They do, again, like I said, they have a beast offensive line, and it's just that the Dallas secondary is good, but questionable. But the Dallas defensive line is one of the best defensive lines in the league. I mean, DeMarcus Lawrence is a star in this league, and he's only going to get better from here, considering he got paid a while back, and that he's one of the best pass rushers in this game. So that's my thing on Dallas. And as for Philadelphia, I'll get to the Redskins in a moment, but the fact that Philadelphia has to depend on Carson Wentz is going to put more pressure on them, because if he gets hurt, there's no Nick Foles to bail him out. They don't have a backup They don't have a backup. I've heard reports that Colin Kaepernick was out there on the market, that the Eagles were considering him. Carson Wentz is going to have to step up and be healthy. If he can't be healthy, then don't get me wrong, I love Carson Wentz. As a Redskins fan, he's a great quarterback, but I'm worried that his shelf life in the NFL is not going to last with all these injuries. Mm-hmm. I do think that the offensive line could be better. I think bringing in Andre Dillard to back up Jason Peters is really going to help that offensive line. They have great playmakers. I think Jordan Howard will help that running game a lot more. I think Corey Clement is going to take a big step up this year. The defense the Eagles' defense is pretty good. I know you have Fletcher Cox. I know you've got a potential breakout candidate in Derek Barnett, the guy they picked at 14th in 2017 in the 2017 draft. And then the secondary, you have Malcolm Jenkins leading that secondary back there. I mean, the Eagles are going to be a good team. I think they're going to make the playoffs, but I just don't see how. It all depends on Carson Wentz's health. Mm-hmm. And if he can't stay healthy, and he he just got a shitload of money this year. If he doesn't live up to that contract, he's got to he's got to play in the playoffs. He's got to at least win a couple of playoff games. He hasn't played in a playoff game yet, and it's just hard for me to trust Carson Wentz's health. I do think he's going to come back stronger. I do think he's going to be better this year. Mm-hmm. He was good last year too before the back injury, but again, the Eagles' success this year depends on Carson Wentz's health.
Yep, I agree. So, in closing, you have the Eagles winning the division.
Yeah.
You got the Redskins coming in second.
Yeah, I think we're going to be right. Honestly, I think we're going to be right there with them.
Yeah,
I don't get the kind of moment. But you were saying?
I can't see it, JP. But I'm not one to shoot down anybody's dream, man. If that's what you think is going to take place, I'm all for it. I hope you're right. I'll be rooting for the Redskins every step of the way, hoping that you're right. I want them to prove me wrong. I just don't anticipate that taking place. But you've got the Redskins in second. You've got the Cowboys coming in third in the division. And you've got the Giants bringing up the rear. So I'm gonna ask you this, and then we'll exit on this question. Would you much rather have the Redskins make the postseason, or at least be in the running late in the season with, let's go with Case Keenum as the quarterback, or would you rather have the Redskins go 5-11, 6-10, but see Dwayne Haskins for half to more than half of the season? Let's just put it at 9 games this season.
All right. That's a really honest. That's a great question. It's almost like a riddle, Lou the Riddler. But anyway, in all seriousness, I want to make the postseason. I'm tired of seeing all these other teams that are not us make it. Yeah. It was hard. It was hard enough to watch us completely crap the bed last year with the injury to Alex Smith and the injuries to our offensive line and the injuries to our receivers, and then just shitting the bed and going 7-9 the rest of the way. Mm-hmm. If we did not lose Alex Smith last year, we would have won the division and we would have made the postseason. But it's a new year. Every team is 0-0. I'd much rather, again, I want to make the postseason, but at the same time, I want Dwayne Haskins to play. I just don't know when he's going to play.
I know that was going to burn you up, man, because I know how badly you want to see Haskins play. I know it. I do. I know it. But
anyway.
I understand. I want to win, too. I want to see Haskins just as bad as you do. But I think winning, and I've always told you this, this goes back many years, winning supersedes all. I want to win. And whether that's with Haskins, Colt, Case, I really don't give a shit. I just want to win. And I'd love to see Haskins, but again, if Haskins is in, it's because we're not winning. So I want winning to come first and, Haskins to play last. But if it's the inverse of that, so be it, which is what I think is going to happen, to be honest with you. I'm all for it. You know what I mean? I want to see the young fella get in there and mix it up and get some experience. So we'll see what happens.
Well, here's my thing. Let's say the team starts out. Let's say we start Case Keenum, right? And we start out with the schedule, with the way the schedule's okay. And we start out 1-4 because I think the Giants is a winnable game. Mm-hmm. We start out 1-4, and if people aren't liking if Dan Snyder, and we know how unpredictable Dan Snyder is. If we do not like the play of Case Keenum early in the season, and he starts throwing interceptions, which is a very real possibility, the fan base is going to be calling for the rookie to get in, and which I think is going to happen. It's hard for me to imagine Case Keenum lasting past week 5 or week 6. I think the kid's going to get in, and I think he'll add a spice to that offense because we have some pieces that could get us to the postseason. You see how good this defensive line is. And I think we're going to get better with Montez Sweat coming off the edge, with Ryan Kerrigan teaching him up and mentoring him up. And I know this linebacker core is a little questionable, but I think they'll be better. And the secondary, I think having Landon Collins back there in the back end help our safeties a lot. And to me, he's the Defensive Player of the Year candidate, and plus this cornerback room is pretty crowded. And I know you said multiple times that Jimmy Moreland, the kid we took this year, in, I think the 7th round or 6th round, he's going to come in and take somebody's job. And it would not surprise me if he came in and took Josh Norman's job. If Josh Norman struggles again, then I can see him getting traded probably before the deadline. And as for the offense, I'm just so glad that we're finally going to get Darius Geis back. When we lost Geis after the last year's preseason week 1 versus New England, I was steaming mad. I was on vacation when he got hurt, and it ruined the rest of my vacation. But having Adrian Peterson back is going to make life easier on the offense. And I've heard people, and as for the receivers, I've heard people say that we have one of the worst receiving corps in the league. We have talent; they're just not ready to come in yet. Kelvin Harmon to me has legit number 1 wide receiver all over him, but he's a project. I think it's going to take him a while, but I think Terry McLaurin could be a really good number 2, maybe number 1. I think he could come in and contribute right away. And the writing is, you said the other day, the writing is on the wall for Josh Doctson. If he has another rough season, then he's another guy who could potentially be gone. And the health of Paul Richardson should also be a big factor, considering that we're only keeping 6 wide receivers. And I also want to see Cam Sims. Thought he was great before he got injured. That's the guy I think could have a really good year for us. And the offensive line, I think, is, again, we still don't know what's going to happen with Trent Williams. I haven't really spoken much about the Trent Williams situation. All I do know is that I would like to have him back, but I would not be surprised if he doesn't come back. And I think, we got to get Brandon Scherf locked up. And I thought bringing in Donald Penn was a good move. He could be a swing tackle. He could be a guard. He could play any spot on the feet. He could play any spot on the line. And the right side, our right side of the line is pretty much solidified. I would also like to see. I think Wes Martin and Ross Pierce-Baker are going to come in and get playing time. And I know you like Chase Rudy. I think is going to be a good center for us. I think Pierce-Baker is going to get some snaps at center. I think Wes Martin is going to get snaps at the guard. We've got depth we've got more depth on this offensive line than we did last year when we brought guys off the street. When we brought in Jonathan Cooper, and he turned out to be a pretty good player for us, and guys like that. And we just struggled. We just struggled in pass protection with these injuries, with Ty Nsekhe and Trent Williams, Scherf getting hurt, and our line was just complete.
That's not saying much, JP.
After the injury, so there's that.
Yeah, that's not saying much. The depth being better isn't a compliment that goes but so far because we were so bad on the offensive line last year. But that's another discussion all to itself, man. I hear what you're saying. We got a lot of unproven players. We're a young football team. Young football teams generally don't win in this league. They don't win big. So I just don't see the Redskins. And then to make matters worse, with a big question mark at quarterback. If you're going to have a young team and still have a shot, you need to have that position solidified. We don't. So that's another reason why this team isn't going to be as good as you want them to be in 2019. But in any event, man, hey, JP, appreciate you chiming in. Fresh off of work, bro. Really appreciate your input, man. And we'll talk later for sure.
All right. Well, again, great content as always, and I'll be tuning in as much as I can.
Hey, no doubt,
Thanks for having me, and have a good night, Luke.
Likewise.
Thank you.
So that's my man JP. He wants the Redskins to be good. He wants to see Haskins. You can't have it both ways. It's as a Redskins fan, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And really, you got to pick one or the other. You can't have it both ways. This isn't Robert Griffin III in 2012 where you get to have your rookie and you get to have a playoff division win and a playoff berth at the same time. It just is not happening in 2019. Either you're going to sacrifice winning in pursuit of letting the young fella get on the field and spread his wings, or you're gonna have to take this L, or you're gonna win, and sacrifice your young fella getting some runs. So Got a call. Gonna go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Oh, what's up, Lou? It's Derek B. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, Derek?
I'm good. I love the content. Love the channel. It's all good, man.
Hey, appreciate that, man. Love chopping it up with you too, man. So, I saw your comment earlier, and I made reference to it. So I want to elaborate on that first before we get into the division as a whole. You talked about you'd be upset, you'd be pretty pissed if the Redskins went 7-9 and we didn't see Haskins. And someone had asked me the over/under on Haskins playing this year. I put it at 8, and I said I'd take the over on that. If we're 7-9 this season, depending on how we get to 7-9, in my breakdown, I had a 6-5 at the bye, or with the final 5 games of the season, I should say. Haskins isn't in that scenario. If you're 6-5, most likely Haskins isn't in. To your point, and I just kind of explained this to JP. If you're going to have to take one or the other. You can't be good and have Haskins in at the same time. You got to pick one or the other. Which one would you prefer, and what do you think is going to happen this season with the Redskins and the quarterback position?
All right, I heard that. That's why I called in, because of your scenario with JP. All right, so you said we're in the playoff mix, right? With Keenum and or Cole.
Yes.
Either one of them.
So I'll repose this scenario that I gave him. So I said, which would you rather have? Because he wants to make the postseason, but he's been talking about Haskins all year long. So I asked him pretty simply, would you prefer the Redskins either being in the playoff hunt or making the postseason with Case Keenum? Let's say you win 9 games and you're in the playoff hunt, or you possibly make it at 9-7. Or would you rather have the team win 5 or 6 games but play Dwayne Haskins?
See, that was your point. Even in your best scenario, you know good and damn well that Jay is not a double-digit win coach. He can't do it. It's not in him. Mm-hmm. So that's not even something that's possible for him to win 10 games, and you didn't even put it there.
Yeah, no.
In your best-case scenario.
Right.
So if you're going to win 9 games and maybe squeak into a wild card, for what? To get blown out by the number 14?
Right.
You know, so, and you know, if Haskins is playing, I know he's not going to win, you know, because if you look back, and I went through it, I look back thinking about Jay's offense. Mm-hmm. Nobody has played well in that offense year one, going back to him in Cincinnati and Dalton. Mm-hmm. The highest anybody ever posted playing in that offense is like an 85 passer rating. Mm-hmm.
I don't doubt that. And
Alex Smith was probably the best. Yeah, I think he made it up to like 86.
And Alex was struggling.
He was struggling.
Alex was struggling his ass off.
He was.
Yeah.
He was barely getting us by.
Yeah.
I missed him when he went down. We both did.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, I've heard people say that we weren't going to make the postseason last year. We missed the hell out of Alex Smith when he went down. A lot of people were complaining about Alex and the offense was struggling, this, that, and the third. But, shit, it was better than the alternative. So, it was rough last year. And to your point, Jay's offense isn't the easiest to come in and pick up. I don't foresee Dwayne playing and excelling right away. I think he's going to have his moments, as we saw in the first preseason game. I think that's a lot of what you would get if Haskins were to play for, let's say, I think I said I put the over-under at 8 games this year starting. I think he's going to start 9 games when it's all said and done. I think he's going to start after the Dolphins game. I think the Redskins then let me look at the schedule real quick. It's right here in front of me. After the Dolphins game, we're at home for San Francisco. That's when I think he starts. Week number 7.
And if you saw the way he played, he's not scared. He'll swing it.
Yeah.
And I figure, you know what? Let him go out there and throw his picks just like Peyton did, just like you know, the other quarterbacks.
Sam Darnold threw a bunch of them last year. Yeah, that's
let him throw his picks.
Yeah.
Let him get it out of his system, and let Jay sail off into the sunset and get a new coach up in here. Because even if our defense, you were talking about our defensive players, yeah, we've got some talent there, but you know, who's putting them in positions to win, to succeed?
Right. We don't love our coordinator.
No.
Right. No, nobody's excited about Greg Minuski. Now, here's my problem with everything that we've talked about, Derek, is okay, so Jay gets fired. Who wants this job?
Well, that's the thing. You let Haskins go out there, and if they see enough potential in what he can do, that with that arm that he has, the hidden mobility that he's been hiding his whole college career, his 1 year of college.
Right. Yeah, all of a sudden now the man is out here running a 4.7 out of nowhere.
Then maybe they think, what, maybe I could do something there. Maybe I could do something with that talent on that defense. And then maybe you get somebody.
You could. I think they are grooming our offensive coordinator. He's been fast tracked, up to offensive coordinator from quarterbacks coach, and they're trying to sell him as the new Sean McVay. Like, hey, we had Sean McVay in here. We're not letting him get away this second time around. So we'll see.
Then maybe you luck into one of those guys. Maybe you luck into a McVay.
Yeah.
Or another
they think
coach.
Matt Kavanaugh.
And then if you have that coach, and that quarterback, they can overcome the other nonsense with Bruce and Dan.
Well, that's the only way. That's the only way the Redskins can get out of the abyss is if Dwayne Haskins is legit. That's the only hope we have as Redskins fans. There is no other hope. That's why his development is so vital, which is why I'm like, y'all better get this shit right. Hey, look, man, if he's not ready, do not put him out there behind a porous offensive line and get his brains bashed in. Find a way to put him in a position to succeed, even if he doesn't right off the bat, at least give him an opportunity to succeed. So that's why I think these veterans that we have are like safety nets. Like, hey, I don't want either one of those dudes starting, to be honest with you. But I don't want to throw him out there week one either. So
no, not without Trent, and I guess I have to give it a double O or Trent. Yep. I was wrong. Mm-hmm. I thought that he would come in, and he still can. We'll see. Mm-hmm. But the confidence I had isn't where it was. That's for sure.
Hey, look, man. None of us foresaw the situation taking a turn for the worse like it has. You know what I mean? Like, initially, I kept telling you guys, hey, don't worry. He'll be back before week one. It's fine. Don't worry about it. You don't want to be at training camp anyway.
I was reading that.
Right. And then the more you heard people talking about, hey, this ain't even about money. And then the D'Angelo Hall thing was what set it off for me. Because when D Hall was like, when the players tell you, hey, either get rid of the training staff or I'm not coming back, I'm like, well, shit, he ain't coming back then. Because they're not getting rid of the training staff. So that's that. And at this point, Bruce is going to have to suck it up. He don't like taking L's. You want to take this L, take this first round pick, and keep it moving, bro. So.
Or pay him.
Bruce ain't paying him a red cent any more than what's in that contract. You know as good as I do. He ain't paying him a damn thing. Unless Dan goes over his head.
Let Trent miss a couple of those game checks, and then maybe we see him. And then we get the rookie in.
He ain't. I'm telling you right now, Trent don't give a damn about them game checks right now. Like in his mind.
Oh, come on now.
I'm telling you, if Trent
makes about $1 million a game.
Yeah, because he's making 12. I think it's 12 or 13 this year. So just slightly under $1 million per game. I'm telling you right now.
If he don't give a damn about them game checks, I know his wife does.
Yes, you do. And when I say, I'm saying that tongue in cheek. I'm not saying he don't care about not getting his money. Of course he does. But in the grand scheme of things, the point that he's trying to make, the money isn't as important. It's more about the rest of his career. And I think he does want another payday. And he feels like if I go somewhere else, I can get that sooner rather than later. And I'll have a chance to win. There's so many factors that come into this. He knows he's not going to win here. He knows that he's not going to get a new deal right now here. And he doesn't like the training staff, and they haven't done right by him in his mind. So there's a number of factors that, he can achieve by getting the hell out of here. So I just don't.
It's easy to be like that when the checks haven't been missing yet.
And again, while that is a fact, if he's taking, because it's not like this dude is broke. Let me reverse that. Let me remove
I'm not broke either, but let me miss a check and I'll be flipping out.
Right, but if he's managed his money well, and from all reports that I've heard people talking about, He's not hard off for money. Like, it's not like he's hurting. Like, if the NFL went on strike, he's not one of these dudes that would be like, hey, man, I might have to cross the line because I'm broke. I need it. He was a first-round pick, so he was a top 5 pick, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Redskins selected him. So he made money in his first deal. He was the highest paid tackle when he got his deal, this last past deal. It's not like this dude hasn't made money throughout his career. And he had the Redskins front load his contract. So a lot of the money in his deal, he's already made. All the guaranteed money for the most part has already been paid to him. So it's not like this dude is over here hurting for every penny. Again, I don't want to minimize, $900,000 game checks.
The more money you make, the more money you want.
Right. No, and your cost.
You don't want any of your money gone.
And your cost of living is dependent on that money coming in as well. So it makes I definitely, and that's what the Redskins are trying to do. Wait him out. Yeah, he won't get these checks. I don't think he's coming back. I think this is on principle. Similar to Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell, you thinking, when these game checks come, and he hadn't made no money yet. He's a running back. He hadn't made any real money yet. So he was way worse off than Trent was. And he was like, bro, I'm standing up for what I believe in. I'm not coming back and playing and not getting my long-term deal. And Trent is saying, it ain't even about the money. I'm not coming back unless you guys trade me. Or the training staff is gone. And the Redskins aren't getting rid of the training staff. So,
well, L.A.B, he took a loss on that because he made basically what the Steelers wanted to give him.
He made less.
He loses a year.
Yeah.
He loses a year of salary.
Yeah, he did.
He's never going to get back.
Yeah.
He's never going to make that back.
Right. He didn't come out the way that he intended
that
it
was,
to.
What, $12 million, $14 million that he would have had? $12 million?
Yeah, for the franchise tag, but the long-term deal, that he didn't sign, the long-term deal that he didn't sign was actually more than the long-term deal that he got with the Jets. So
exactly,
it was actually on his part a loss there as well. But again, that's not what Trent is after. It's not like he's talking about money like Zeke Elliott, for instance, or Jadeveon Clowney, who are all holding out for long-term deals. It's not even about him getting a long-term deal. It's about him standing up for something.
Sorry about that.
It's all good, man. So I that situation is just, it's odd. We haven't seen this before. So.
And you know what though? He hasn't said anything.
He can't.
Other people have spoken for him.
Yeah, he can't.
And I think that's calculated. I think there's the way guys are now, they're all on social media, they're all out there saying everything about how they feel. And you haven't heard a single word from him or his agent. Everything has been like, I spoke to Trent.
Yep.
I think that's calculated. I think he can say, no, it wasn't about that. It was about this. When he finally does come back or when he gets traded, I think this is all calculated by him. It's smart, too.
This is the thing. He can't say anything because if he does, the Redskins are a franchise that, with Bruce Allen pretty much in control, they will sue the draws off of him for slander.
But you can say things without saying things.
Well, that's why he's using everyone else to do his dirty work for him. Because
I guess so. Maybe that's fair.
You can't.
And like I said, it's smart by him.
And this is the thing. This is the thing that I pretty much said he's not coming back. The D Hall comments were pretty damning, and it was the first time that's when I released the video. Hey, face it, he's not coming back. But then I actually went back and put 2 and 2 together with Donald Penn's introductory press conference when he came in and he was like, I talked to Trent. And Donald had already said, I didn't come here to sit on the bench. I didn't come here to play right tackle, which he's not because Momo's at right tackle. And I didn't come here to be a swing tackle. I came here to start at left tackle. So listen to what Donald Penn is telling you. I talked to Trent. He gave me his blessing to come here. Why? Because he's not coming back.
That was in August. That was in August, July.
I hear you, bruh. But again,
when it gets to September, things change. You never know what happens.
We'll see. I hear you loud and clear. But if he knew he was coming back, he would have told, hey, Donald, I might. There's a possibility that I might be back. And if Donald was cool with that, okay, cool. You might come back. You might not come back. I'll take that chance, and I'll still sign with the Redskins. If Donald, and I believe him, he has no reason to lie. He said he had other offers from other teams. So when you look at this situation, and I believe him because there aren't many good left tackles in football. So I believe there was teams looking for help at left tackle. They called Donald Penn, and this was the best situation for him because he knew he was going to start. He called Trent and he said, "Hey man, are you coming back?" And he was like, "Nah, bro, I ain't coming back." He's like, "All right, cool. So you don't mind me signing it?" "Nah, go ahead, man." "All right, cool." That's pretty much how that conversation probably went. So I don't see Trent coming back, man. Like the writing's on the wall. But like you said,
not. And maybe we'll hold on to him until it gets, somebody goes down, and maybe it gets closer to the trade deadline. But if it gets past the trade deadline and he hasn't come in, they're gonna let him sit out the year,
and look, I've said this on my podcast. I've said this.
He won't get traded until when can he get traded next? Around the
trade deadline,
the draft time,
trade deadline too.
He can't get traded.
Look, this is the thing. I've said this numerous times. The Redskins hold all the leverage in this situation.
Yeah.
Trent has zero leverage because they could do nothing and say, "Okay, you don't want to play. That's cool. You don't show up." Because if he doesn't show up by week 11, you don't accrue a year towards free agency. So this doesn't count. So you're still 2 years under contract with the Redskins. What, you gonna never play football again? So if he doesn't show up, because this isn't akin to the Le'Veon Bell situation. He wasn't under contract. So he could sit out an entire year and not be penalized other than missing out on salary because he didn't sign his franchise tag. Whereas Trent, if he doesn't come back by week 11, and we saw this before with Vincent Jackson once upon a time with the Chargers, where he had to show up at week 11 or else he would still be on the last year of his deal. So if Trent wants to get out of here, the goal is to get out of here, then he either has to show up or he's like, "Hey, I just won't play football anymore," and he's got to pull the Redskins card. Whereas the Redskins, they could take several different routes. They could go the petty ass route. "Well, we're going to find you every day you don't show up," which is what they've been doing now. But, if he comes back, he's going to, they're going to waive those fines. But
yeah, the fine is nonsense.
Yeah.
What is it, like 10,000 a day, some nonsense like that, or 40,000 a day? He's not going to feel that.
Yeah, nah. So you look at that and go that route. They can say, "You know what? We'll just sit on you. If you don't want to come back, that's cool. We don't have to do anything with you. You just sit there and rot away. Your career will rot away if you don't want to come back." Or they can trade him. You know what I mean? Like, they've got all the cards that they can play. My thing is just wait. Just wait until a team gets desperate. And the phone has been ringing. Adam Schefter did a radio spot with Kevin Sheehan on their radio program. I haven't listened to it, but I read some of the excerpts from it. And essentially what Schefter said is 7 teams have contacted the Redskins. 7 about Trent Williams, and Bruce has told all of them, "We're not trading him." And Schefter says,
deadline. When is that?
Huh?
The trade deadline, like mid-October?
Yeah, it's the middle of the season, somewhere in there. Yeah, October. Yeah, early November, somewhere in there. And Schefter said the Redskins, the value for Trent Williams right now is like a 1st and a 6th. That's what they could get for him. I'm like, I would take that right now. I don't want it from the Patriots because I know that 1st round pick is going to be like the 30th pick, 31st, 32nd. I don't want that. But if somebody else, like, say the Texans calls and like, "Yo, we got these young boys out here and we think we're a playoff team," I'd send them to the Texans in a heartbeat. It's where he's from. That's all good. They might give up what we're looking for, and they could easily be 7-9 this year, and that pick could be the 13th pick in the draft. I'm cool with that.
But why do that now? There's no sense unless you're going to get a player back that can help you. There's no reason to do that for a draft.
Because he's not a part of your future, Derek. He's not a part of the future. You know that. If you know he's not a part of the future, then the draft pick is the what you're getting back in return for him, and it's adding to your draft capital for next year. We don't need a player back in return.
That doesn't help you to 2020.
Huh?
It doesn't help you. So you're not in a rush to do it. There's no reason to do it now. It doesn't help you unless you get a player back.
But then this is the thing, is if you don't do it now, and because you don't, the value is its greatest now because the season is vastly approaching. Teams are excited. They think that they're close. A Trent Williams may put them over the top. His value will never be as great as it is now. You wait till the trade deadline. Maybe someone feels like Trent Williams can come in and help them, but they don't know what kind of shape he's going to be in at that point. I don't know if the desperation level will be as great say week 9 or 8 or whenever the trade deadline is. It definitely isn't as high during the draft because yeah, you might be going into, but he sat out at that point. He sat out a whole entire year, and he's a year older.
No, I'd say like week 3, week 4, somebody goes down.
And that's a possibility.
And then they start off 3-0 or 4-0, and then their left tackle goes down.
Yeah. Yeah, now that's a perfect storm, Derek. But you can't count on a perfect storm to happen. But that's the point that we've made is that you can hold on to him and just wait and just see what happens, you know. And if you trade him, I've heard a report where an executive said there's no way you get to Labor Day and he's still a Redskin. I think that's probably more accurate than us waiting till week 3 or 4 to trade him, but. We dealing with Bruce Allen here, man.
Camp injury or a preseason game or something. Yep. Somebody really needs somebody, or somebody's not working out. First round pick isn't playing well or something.
Yeah,
you never know. Like the Texans, you're right. Like the Texans.
Yep, absolutely.
Because their number 1 pick, he's playing guard now.
Yeah, I told you, they're a team that it could be scary out there without having a guy that you trust at left tackle. So I'm not saying, I'm just saying. You know, we'll see what happens.
Thanks for letting me chop it up.
Hey,
man.
no
but
doubt,
Derek
B, man. Always.
Scenario. I was like, that's never gonna happen with Jay. He's not gonna win 10 games. So what's the point?
Hey, look, man. I appreciate you chiming in. I always love chopping it up with you in the comment section, and now finally getting to talk to you on the phone. It was a lot of fun, man. Look forward to doing it in the future too.
All right, man. Hail to the Redskins.
Likewise, bro. Definitely. All right, that was my man Derek B. That was a very spirited Trent Williams discussion there. I've done that several times on my podcast, but kind of good to do it here on the channel as well. Let's get through some comments here in the YouTube chat discussion and see if we get another call anyway. Sean Mack says, Kirk Cousins is better than Eli Manning. Think about that, along with the fact that the defense is stupid good. No, I don't disagree with any of that. Nick Riley says the Giants going to be jumping up and down, popping bottles, acting a fool for winning 3 games. They're not going to do that, but they're going to be a team that doesn't win a very many games, I don't think, in 2019. Trayvon Johnson says, I have the Cowboys at best going 11-5, at worst 8-8, and the Eagles coming in at 12-4 at best, and 9-7 at worst. And I have the Skins going at best 9-7, and at worst 7-9, and the Giants at best 4-12. Got a call, gonna go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with? Hello? Ooh, got a bad connection, bruh. Yeah, try again. I'm gonna hang up, call back. So Trayvon thinks that the Eagles could be the best team in the division if they maximize their potential at 12-4. Cowboys 11-5, Redskins at best 9-7, and he doesn't think the Giants are going to be good at all. 4-12 is the best they can do. Got a call, gonna go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Man, that's your boy Tone, man. Protest Sports is good.
What's going on, Tones?
Man, nothing much, man. I actually working some content. I saw his live stream. I was like, oh yeah, I hopped a couple comments, hopped in out the stream, did some of my own stuff, pre-record some stuff. And yeah, I'm back on, so yeah, what's going on? What's up, Lou?
Hey.
You know the division is near dear to my heart. So
yes,
I
sir.
had to hop on this one.
Yes, sir. So go ahead and give me your rundown of the division.
Before I get to that, let me get to the previous call about the whole Trent Williams situation. Look, bro, I completely agree with you. Before Labor Day, this man is shipped out of here. There's no way in hell he's going to be on this Redskins roster beyond Labor Day. There's no way in hell. He's gone. I don't care what Bruce Allen says. I don't care what Dan Snyder says. I don't care what Doug Williams says. I don't care what Jay Gruden says. He's getting traded. I don't want to hear it. He doesn't want to be here. The medical staff screwed this man over, almost cost this man's damn life. I wouldn't want to play for him either. So he's gone. Simple. Go get your first round pick, your late round pick, call it a damn day. Well, let me get to the damn division now. So I had to spill that because I'm tired right now. Oh my God, Trent might come back somehow, some way. We signed Don Penn for a reason, damn it. Come on, bro. Stop it.
It's a lot of. He's not alone. It's a lot of Redskin fans still holding out hope. That
no, I lost all hope. I lost hope for I'm gonna be honest. Let's hope for Trent being here.
Uh-huh.
2019 season is a season for young players to play well and see what they got.
Yeah.
So we can see what we got for the future. There's no way to hell this Redskins team will be a playoff team. Let me start with that.
Okay.
But let's get to
You
the
haven't
division.
said anything wrong yet.
I actually, speaking of videos, I have a video called the NFC East on my channel as well. So if you guys want to go check that out, cool. But quick summary what I had in that video, if you guys don't want to watch it. I had the Eagles going 12-4, win this division. I think the Eagles are the best team in the NFC conference. As a Redskins fan, I hate saying my mouth. I want to throw up saying it. But I think this team is the best team in the NFC conference. They have one of the best defensive lines in the conference. I think with Malcolm Jenkins and Ronald Darby, a really solid secondary. Carson Wentz is a dog, especially when healthy. It all depends on Carson Wentz's health. Carson Wentz goes down, we know what's up with that. We know things go hell in the handbasket. But if Carson Wentz plays 16 games, this team's the best team in the conference. They're better than L.A. They're better than New Orleans. I think they're better than Green Bay. I think they're better than Chicago. I think they're the best team in the conference. Simple. So I have them going 12-4, be the number one seed in the NFC conference. I think the playoffs will go through the link. Number two, I think the Cowboys finish second. I have them at 9-7 and being the last seed in the NFC conference playoffs. I think they'll be the 6th seed. They'll play a wild card weekend. I got the Redskins going 7-9. Of course, 7-9 means no playoffs. I do think the Redskins are going to start very slow. As the season gets along, they start building some steam and build some momentum for 2020. They've been fine. I think the Giants are trash. Simply put, they have no receivers. All this Daniel Jones hype, and you got to cut that crap out. And I think they're going 2-14.
Okay. All right.
They're trash.
Yeah,
So,
I don't disagree with anything you've said this entire call. So I'm with you with the Trent situation. I don't think he's coming back. I think he will be traded. The only thing I would disagree with you on is that it does matter what Bruce and Dan think or say, because they're the ones that control this situation. Like,
Agreed.
If they decide we're not trading him, I remember once upon a time.
I know what they say does matter technically. It does, but I'm saying at the end of the day, they need to get what they can for him. They know he's not playing that uniform again. They know he's not going to take a snap for them again. They need to get what they can for him now. Yeah. They wait. The longer they wait, the lower the value is. Get what you can now. You're wasting time trying to have him come back. He's not coming back. And the Redskins are not ready to compete for anything right now anyway. So why would I want him back? If you don't want to play here, go. Bye. Nice knowing you. We appreciate the 8 years you've given us. Thank you. You've been one of the best left tackles in football. But you don't want to be here, we'll roll the other 53 guys. We can go grab and we can go play ball. It was nice knowing you, bro.
And
simply put.
And again, I don't necessarily disagree with that. I've seen organizations botch this same type of situation, not obviously with the type of situation Trent is holding out for, but a similar situation in which a player wanted to be traded, or the organization had an opportunity to trade him and they didn't, being really, really foolish. In Cincinnati, I remember the Redskins were trying to give them 2 first-round picks for Chad Ochocinco. And luckily enough for us, those dummies didn't take it. That was the bumbling, stumbling Dan and Vinny Serrato days when we tried to give away first-round picks like they got them growing trees. And they didn't take it. They didn't want to trade. They didn't want Chad Johnson to win, and so they wouldn't trade him, which was stupid on their part.
Exactly.
I just don't want us to be foolish like that. You know what I mean? Like, get what you can get and get out of there. So, anyway, hey, make sure y'all check out my man Tone's YouTube channel. I've been watching his videos. I saw you posted the I think you're doing 2 at a time, right? You're doing 2 at a time.
I'm doing 2 divisions at a time.
I saw you had another video up. I wanted to watch the next one. I didn't get a chance to. I'm going to watch it tonight, though. So make sure you're checking out my man Tones over at Protect Sports on YouTube. Sub him up, like his videos, share his content, And make sure you comment in the comment section. Show that man some love, man. He's putting in some work over there. So, hey, Tones, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate you chiming in, bro. Keep churning out that content, bro.
I got you, bro. And also, man, thank you, bro. You're an inspiration to all the smaller football YouTubers, sports YouTubers, man. You've been grinding for years. I've been watching you since 2013.
Yeah.
I've seen you blossom, man, to a wonderful channel, man. So you keep grinding too, Lou. You're a big inspiration, so we thank you, bro.
Hey, no doubt, man. I appreciate you supporting this entire time, man. It's been a long journey, long way to go. But anyone I can drag with me along this road and this journey, man, I'm trying to. So, hey, bro, I appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro. Still ATPR, baby.
No doubt. All day long.
Promising. The future's very promising.
All day long, all day strong, bro. Take it easy. All right. So Redskins Pride WGIL says, Lou, I think in addition to the 7 wins you give us, we will beat Kirk, we will beat Chicago, and we will get the second Giants game also. So I don't know if he's saying in those 7 games that's going to occur, or if he's saying that in addition to the 7, which is, I think he said that, so I'm going to take it at face value. He's saying we're going to win 10 games. Shit. Don't see it happening, but again, I'm not here to kill anybody's dreams. CJ says, Big Dog Lou, just checking in, just giving you a shout out. Hey, man, I appreciate that. Thanks a lot. The 20th Mike says, who is Eli going to throw the ball to with some of their receivers suspended for some games? That's another big part of the reason why a lot of people don't think the Giants are going to be very good. Emperor Meach says, yo, it's been a minute, but here's my predictions. Eagles, 10-6. Dallas, 8-8. Skins, 6-10. And then my punk-ass Giants, 4-12, which he chimed in with that already on the show. Got a call. Going to go ahead and take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with?
Lou, what's up, bro? This your boy, Jay. How you doing?
What's going on, man?
I don't know you remember me, but I'm a Dolphins fan.
Yes, I do. I remember we had a really good conversation.
Okay, man. I just want to, give him a little input on the division.
Okay.
Well, listen, my dad is a big Washington Redskins fan, and I always say that nobody knows your team like a diehard, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
A diehard fan of a team. So I want to talk to you about the Washington Redskins. Then I'll give a quick prediction on my on the whole division, if that's cool.
Yep.
Why do the Washington Redskins, in my opinion, remind me so much of my Dolphins? And let me tell you something. Listen, the Washington Redskins, in my opinion, is a more talented team than the Miami Dolphins. I do think that you guys are going to win more games than the Miami Dolphins. But the problem that I have is people act like the Washington Redskins wasn't winning their division before Alex Smith went down. And let's be honest, it's not like Alex Smith was playing great. So I think that Case Keenum can kind of give you guys the same production that Alex Smith was giving you guys, keeping you guys in ball games. Alex Smith would probably get 180, 190 yards, 2 touchdowns, and you guys would win with Adrian Peterson, running the ball, your defense playing very well. I think Case Keenum can give you guys that kind of production.
All right, so let's break down your argument here. So first, you're absolutely spot on. The Redskins were 6-3. The Redskins were leading the division when Alex Smith went down, and they were right in the thick of things in the NFC East, and probably were going to win it at one point when you looked at the landscape of the NFC East, because the Cowboys were struggling before the Amari Cooper trade. The Eagles had their own issues with inconsistencies and injuries, and the Giants were the Giants. So, yes, you're right. But here's the difference between last year with Alex Smith and this year with and we'll start with last year and we'll work our way to this year. The reason people weren't confident in the Redskins last year with Alex Smith is the Redskins played a very soft beginning of the schedule. I mean, we didn't know the Arizona Cardinals were going to be absolutely awful and trash, but they were. We were excited about the Week 1 victory, but we didn't know they were going to be one of the worst teams in the league, and they turned out to be. That's why we were able to dominate them in Week 1. But if you look at the Redskins' losses and the teams that they had lost to that point, every team that we had played on the schedule that was any good got our ass beat and bad. It wasn't even close. The Colts dominated us at home in Week 2. They were a playoff team. The Falcons were not a playoff team. They beat the brakes off of us at home. The Saints, that was a Drew Brees orgy on Monday Night Football when he broke the touchdown record. That was embarrassing. And the Texans were a playoff team. They won their division, and we lost that game too. So any team that with any merit, we beat the Buccaneers. We gave up 500 yards of total offense to the Buccaneers, and they were so bad they only scored 3 points in that game. They turned it over every time. They missed like 3 field goals. Every time they got in the red zone, they turned it over. We were able to beat them 16-3. We didn't score very many points. We beat the Giants. They were horrible in New York early in the season. As bad as the Giants were, we sacked Eli Manning like 8-9 times in that game. It took an Adrian Peterson 66-yard run with 6 minutes left in the game to put the Giants away. And we still had to eke that one out at the end because the Giants scored a garbage time touchdown and we had to recover an onside kick just to put that game away. What I'm trying to say to you is the Redskins weren't a very good team last year. And even though we were 6-3 and our record said we were good, our schedule was going to get much tougher in the back end of it. And we weren't good enough to beat those teams. And so we were probably going to lose those games anyway with a healthy Alex Smith, but we would have loved to have seen what we could have done with Alex Smith. So now let's fast forward to 2019. You look at the schedule this year with a guy like Case Keenum, who isn't as proven in this league as Alex Smith. So you don't have the same confidence you had in the Alex Smith, who consistently wins you 10 games in the regular season.
But let me stop you right there. I'm gonna let you. I'm cut in.
Yep.
Alex Smith had the Kansas City Chiefs offensive coordinator. What's his name that escapes me? It's right on the tip of my tongue.
Talking about the head coach, Andy Reid?
Andy Reid.
Yes.
Listen, anything that Andy Reid touches is going to be successful. Let's be honest. Listen, I love the Minnesota Vikings head coach, but he's not known to be an offensive minded. He's a great defensive minded coach. But Case Keenum played decent with that. Now you guys don't have the same talent that the Minnesota Vikings had, but I don't think you guys are that bad. I think Case Keenum can give you guys a decent production.
So and again, he may be able to, but when Case Keenum won in Minnesota, as you just alluded to, they had elite talent on both the offensive and defensive sides of the football. They were elite at receiver. They had a big-time tight end in Kyle Rudolph. They didn't run it as good as you wanted to, but they were solid enough on the ground to get by. And then you look at their defense was dominant. That's what won the day for them a lot of weeks, was that even if Case Keenum wasn't his best, the defense still went out. The defense still went out and performed at a high enough level that it gave them a chance to still win the game. When you look at the Redskins, this schedule is not the toughest, but it's tough early. And unlike last year where it was front loaded with bad football teams that gave us a chance to get off the 6-3 start, that's not happening this year. You got the Bears, who we think are going to be good. You got the Patriots, who we know are going to be good. You got the Packers, who I think is going to be a really, well, I don't think the Packers are that early in the season. They're towards the back end of the season. But you got the Cowboys, who it's going to be a tough game. I think we can actually beat them. I have us beating them. But Eagles on the road is going to be tough. Hell, even the Giants on the road, it's family business. That's going to be tough. We got y'all on the road. I think we can win that game. We got the 49ers. These are winnable football games that will give the Redskins a chance to stay in relevancy early in the season. But it's not going to allow us to get off to the type of start we got off to last year where we were 6-2, 5-2, 6-3. So while I hear you, the difference is the Redskins aren't going to be able to, I don't think, and I could be wrong, I don't think they're going to be able to get off to the type of start they got off to give them the confidence that Case Keenum can win them football games consistently. And I think whoever starts at quarterback, not named Dwayne Haskins, is going to be on a pretty short leash to begin with.
Right. Well, let me ask you about Dwayne Haskins, because I'm a big Dwayne Haskins fan. I watched him when he was at Ohio State. Mm-hmm. I'm worried, Lou. I'm worried, and it has nothing to do with the game. I'm worried about him and Jay Gruden. Listen, I like Jay Gruden. Washington. My dad always tell me that he don't believe that Jay Gruden is a good coach. He thinks he's a decent coach, and I always try to defend Jay Gruden. My dad would say, "Listen, we need to fire Jay Gruden," and Jay Gruden would go out there and win a couple of games, and I'd be like, "Listen, I told you he was a good coach," and then Jay Gruden would lose some games, and I'd be like, "You're right. You guys probably need to let him go," but I still think he's a decent coach. Mm-hmm. My problem is I don't know if he's the head coach that's going to be able to get Dwayne Haskins to that level that he needs to be. I don't like the play calling that you guys did in the preseason. Listen, the one thing I don't like about Dwayne Haskins is his body language. When things start to happen, when things start to break down, when he starts throwing the interception. I watched him in college. Mm-hmm. He has a bad body language. He can give the press, the beat reporters. He can give them a little attitude. I don't see him do that before. Mm-hmm. And if he's frustrated, when I watched Jake Gruden, when you guys drafted Dwayne Haskins, he didn't seem excited. The GM, you guys GM was Bruce Arians. He seemed like he was excited. The owner, the fans seemed like they were excited. Jake Gruden was kind of like, okay, we drafted Dwayne Haskins. But is it just me, or does it look like Jake Gruden has kind of already checked out?
Nah, I don't. Jay's coaching for his life right now. Jay's coaching for his head coaching career, because there's no guarantee that he's going to get another head coaching job. He's going to get a coordinator job like that. All right, he's that talented.
When I'm asking you, I'm sorry to cut you off. Do you think he believes? Because there was reports that there were some people in the organization wanted you guys to draft Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. So what I'm asking you, do you believe Jay Gruden believe in Dwayne Haskins, or do you think that's an ownership, a general manager? Did you think Jay Gruden had anything to do with drafting Dwayne Haskins? Do you think he believes in Dwayne Haskins?
He don't have a choice. It's really simple. Whether Jay believed in him or not prior to the draft is irrelevant, because Daniel Snyder wanted Dwayne Haskins. It's as simple as that. You're here. You're the coach. Coach him up. It really doesn't matter. If you're asking me in my heart of hearts, would Jay Gruden have preferred a different quarterback? I can tell you with 100% certainty there were other quarterbacks in this draft he would have taken before Dwayne Haskins. I know that for a fact. I listened to Jay talk prior to the draft. He told us what he thought of all the top quarterbacks. Haskins wasn't the top. Haskins wasn't even in his top 3. Okay? However, that's besides the point. Is you are here. You're our coach. You're supposed to be this offensive-minded guy. Make it work. That's the same thing they told him when they got him here and he was supposed to make Robert Griffin III work. They said, look, this is our quarterback. You take him and make him great. He wasn't able to do it with Griffin, but I don't think that was his fault. Griffin was a different case. Haskins has talent. Gruden has acknowledged that he has talent, but he also is like, yo, this dude's a work in progress. It's going to take time. But Gruden also understands, and he's not a dumb guy. You say what you want about Jay Gruden. I agree with your dad. He's not a great coach. I wanted him gone last year. I like Jay. I've told anybody that would listen, Jay's a nice guy. Jay's a funny guy. Jay's a player's coach. Jay, he can work in his league somewhere else, not in Washington. All right? But with that being said, Jay understands he's not a dummy. His ticket to staying in Washington is the development of Dwayne Haskins. If we're 7-9 this year, but Haskins plays the final, let's say the final 8 games of the season, and in those final 8, Haskins goes 5-3, and he looks like he's starting to really get it, and he's coming on in Jay's system, that's how Jay can save his job. He's no dummy. But to tell you that Jay wanted them to draft Dwayne Haskins, I'd be sitting here lying to you. He didn't sign off on that, but that wasn't his choice.
Right. Do you see a situation like how Baltimore with Lamar Jackson? Lamar Jackson didn't play very well, and there were some reports out there that the Baltimore Ravens was going to fire their head coach. Mm-hmm. But he did so great with Lamar Jackson, and the defense went out there and they was a top defense, mm-hmm. and Lamar Jackson made plays, but the Baltimore Ravens won in spite of Lamar Jackson's struggles. Do you see a situation like that where Case Keenum can struggle, Haskins can come in, and you guys got a pretty good defense. Now I don't think you guys have the defense that the Baltimore Ravens have.
Right.
But do you think that you guys can win in spite of Dwayne Haskins' struggle? Because I believe that Dwayne Haskins is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. And I think you guys have more talent than the Baltimore Ravens had last year. Do you see a situation like that? Now, I do think the Baltimore Ravens head coach is a better coach than Jay Gruden. Mm-hmm. Because he's a Super Bowl winning coach. Yeah. But do you see a situation like that happening?
It's possible. It's definitely possible. But this is the problem you run into is, as you mentioned, the Ravens defensively were so dominant. Their run game was so dominant that even if Lamar was missing simple passes, his ability to use his legs and escape the pocket and do some things with called runs, it just made them a hard team to stop. They got hot. They won, I think it was 8-9 games in a row, and they made it to the postseason, and they won the division. And that was all great in Baltimore. And it may have saved, as you mentioned, it may have saved John Harbaugh's job. I something like that could happen. It's highly unlikely, though. I don't see the Redskins being good enough to do that. But the NFL is such a funny sport and league that anything is possible. You know, that's why you can't discount anything from happening, because anything is possible. That's why they play every Sunday. You know, that's why they play the game. So while I don't think it's highly likely, it could happen. Why not?
Right, because you see what Harbaugh did with Lamar Jackson. Look at what I don't think Mitch Trubisky was a better quarterback coming out of college than Dwayne Haskins, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I just think that they have such a great offensive-minded coach, and they got some players on the defensive side of the ball. To me, Dwayne Haskins is not ready. You know, but I kind of, the reason why I'm worried about the Washington Redskins, because could you guys do better than Jake Gruden? You know, I know that the owner believes in Dwayne Haskins, but if you guys wouldn't have drafted Dwayne Haskins, how far would he have fallen? So that kind of makes me feel like, okay, well, how many other teams believe in Dwayne Haskins? How many other coaches believe in Dwayne Haskins? Are you guys a job that a head coach would want to, you know, somebody like the Green Bay Packers ex-coach? Or would you guys have to, you know, make Greg Williams an offer that he couldn't refuse if Jay Gruden, you know, I just kind of feel like you guys, if you guys' season doesn't really work out, you guys gotta see something out of Dwayne Haskins to make this even a desirable place to even want to come to and coach. Because if Dwayne Haskins goes out there, say for instance you guys start off 2-4, 2-6, and you guys bring Dwayne Haskins in, you guys are not a good team, you know. Then you got a quarterback that people really don't believe in. I'm not saying that Dwayne Haskins is not going to be a good quarterback, because I believe in him. But my problem is, do people around the league believe in Dwayne Haskins? That's my only problem. If you guys wouldn't have drafted Dwayne Haskins, I think you guys drafted him 13 overall, right, Lou?
Yes, we did.
How far would he have fallen?
Or was it 13, or it might have been 15? I think it was 15.
Yeah, so my only thing is, if you guys fire Jake Gruden, are you going to upgrade at head coach? Now you're talking about a first-round draft pick. Now you're talking about the RG3 situation where you're going to have a guy come in that doesn't really believe in your first-round pick. You know, I don't know. To me, this is a very important season for the Washington Redskins. You know, I'm not going to talk you to death, bro.
It is, no. I mean, I think you make some really valid points. One of those points I made earlier on the call, like, everyone wants to get rid of Jay Gruden. Can you do better than Jay Gruden? Does anybody want this job? I think that they really like Kevin O'Connell, who is a guy that has been moving up in the ranks pretty rapidly in Washington, and they continue to upgrade his title because they don't want him to leave, and they think he could be, you know, another type of Sean McVay type guy where he's really young, he's really smart, he gets it. He could be a guy that gets elevated to the head coaching position, but I mean, even him getting the job, he's an unknown commodity. You know, you don't really know what you're gonna get. But I'm not gonna discount Jay. I'm not just gonna count Jay out. I'm not gonna just throw him by the wayside. Even though I think the Redskins they need to do better than Jay Gruden. But the real question is, can they? So.
Right, and I totally agree, bro. And I just feel like this is a very important season for the Washington Redskins. I'm not saying that you guys got to make the playoffs, you guys got to win a Super Bowl, but you guys got to know at least what you have out of Dwayne Haskins. And if he has to look at least decent, where a head coach, you know, if the Buffalo Bills fire Sean McDermott, I believe that the Buffalo Bills will be able to get a decent head coach, because I believe that Josh Allen showed a lot of promise last year. Mm-hmm. The reason why everybody wanted to coach the Cleveland Browns, the reason why people wanted to coach the New York Jets, because they believed that the Jets had a good young quarterback. Mm-hmm. So, you know, my only thing is people looking at the Washington Redskins saying, okay, you know, you guys guys got some decent wide receivers, but it's nothing sexy. It's nothing attractive. I like what you guys have at the running back position. You guys O-line is you know, it needs some work, especially with Trent Williams not re-signing. And listen, my Dolphins offering you guys a first-round pick. I think you guys should take it.
Yeah, no, I would definitely take the Dolphins' first-round pick.
It's been reports coming out of Miami that we offering you guys a first-round pick.
They would be stupid to turn down a Dolphins first-round pick just because you know it's going to be a high draft pick. That's foolish. That's foolish on your part. What I don't want is New England's first-round pick. What I do want is the Dolphins' first-round pick.
Right. There's reports that coming out of Miami that we want to give you guys. Well, the first offer I think we made to you guys was a second-round pick and Kenny Stills.
Yeah,
some issues that's going on with Kenny Stills and our owner. But then I think it was a first-round pick that we was offering you guys. I've seen some reports. So I don't know. I'm just going by what the beat writers down here say.
Now, I wouldn't take anything less than a 1 for him. I don't want any players involved. I want a first-round pick. I want to pick my own guys. But your first-round pick is very attractive. Before I let you go, you promised me you were going to give me your breakdown of the division. So what do you have each team doing in this division?
I got the Philadelphia Eagles winning. I think they're the most talented team. It all depends on Carson Wentz's health. And then I'm struggling because I believe in the Washington. I guess, listen, you know the Washington Redskins. I'm normally at my house watching the Miami Dolphins get their brain bashed in, and then I see the Washington Redskins scroll down the middle of the game, watching y'all, the scores and to see if y'all see what you guys doing. I don't watch every single game. Right. I don't follow the beat writers. You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm not in you guys' fan pages, and I don't know every single player, so I'm just on the outside looking in. Yeah. I believe in you guys. I believe if you can get Case Keenum to play decent, if I don't think Case Keenum played terrible with the Denver Broncos last year, in my opinion. I don't believe in Van Joseph. I didn't think Van Joseph deserved the head coaching job, and I didn't think the Denver Broncos had any good offensive coordinator. So I believe in Case Keenum. I think he can give you guys decent production.
It's Case Keenum,
bro. I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins, man.
It's Case Keenum, bro.
I'm going to go,
I said it's Case Keenum, bro.
I'm going to go with the Washington Redskins. I got you guys coming in second. Okay. I got you guys actually tying with the Dallas Cowboys. Okay. I got you going 9-7. I got the Dallas Cowboys going 9-7. And I got the New York Giants going 4-12.
Okay. Now, does either one of those 9-7 teams make the postseason?
Nah. Okay. But I think 9-7. If you guys go 9, I think 8-8 is a successful year for you guys. I don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a diehard fan, so I don't know what you guys' expectations is. But I think 8-8 is good for you guys, especially if you start the rookie early and you guys go 8-8. I think that saves you.
I was about to say that's the only way 8-8 is acceptable. Like you can't feel good about 8-8 unless Dwayne Haskins is the reason you're 8-8.
But 9-7 would save Jay Gruden's job.
9-7 could possibly save his job. Possibly, yeah.
Well, yeah, I could see you guys going 9. I don't think you guys. And then you guys play teams like the Dolphins. Listen, I love my boys to death, but let's face reality. Then you got the New York Giants in your division. You guys could sweep the New York Giants. You guys got the Detroit Lions. I just counted 4 wins. You guys can sneak a win with the Philadelphia Eagles.
Bruh, all of these are already, all these wins you've given us are already built into 7-9. Like, you're not giving me any wins. Outside of you telling me we can sweep the Giants, which I don't have us doing, which that's family business, as you well know. You're not good. You might still beat the New England Patriots. How? I don't know, but that's family business. I stay out of your business because that's your business. So, again, I don't think we're going to sweep the Giants. Why? Because that's family business. You know what I mean? And so, we'll see what happens. 7-9 is the best I see us doing.
Yeah, man, I got you guys going 9-7. If Jay Gruden could do something with Case Keenum, listen, you guys are not going 9-7 with Dwayne Haskins. If Case Keenum struggles and Dwayne Haskins come in, okay, now you guys what you guys doing? Putting tape out for you guys' next head coach. Okay, listen, this is what we got at the quarterback position. You guys are pretty much advertising your talent if you guys start off rough. Yeah. You guys are going to fire Jay Gruden.
Yeah.
The problem is, like I said before, hopefully Jay Jay Gruden doesn't feel, okay, well, I'm going to get fired anyway, I don't give a damn how Dwayne Haskins looks. You got to worry about that, too. So, it's an important season for Washington Redskins. I'm going to let somebody else come in, bro.
Yeah, no doubt. Hey, man, appreciate you, Jay.
All right.
Yep, man. Some really spirited comments tonight regarding the Redskins and this division. And some of them have been from non-Redskins fans that think we got a legitimate shot. Again, like he said, and I think he put it that way when we talked AFC East. He did it again, and I think he is spot on with his assessment that you can't know another team better than a fan of that team that follows the intricate details, the everyday minutia of a team. You can't know a team better than someone that follows that team's ins and outs. So, we'll see. My girl Rebe says, I'm also tossed with that Bears game. She's an Eagles fan. She says, but I got us winning against Atlanta. I have us 5-1 in the division, split with the Cowgirls, giving them the last one. My division order is the same. So she got the Eagles winning she got the Eagles. I think she might have the Eagles losing the Bears game, but beating the Falcons. So she might still be at 11 wins. Got a call, I think. I'm going to take it. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with? Hello? Okay. No one there. Tony Lowe says, I don't have us dropping that Vikings game, man. Think about it. It's Kirk in a primetime game. Who knows Kirk better than us in primetime? It's also Case Keenum and AP's revenge game. I didn't think about it from that angle. So there are some. That might be AD's first game back in Minnesota. No, it's not, because he played in a Saints uniform on a Monday night 2 years ago when he had to blow up on the sidelines with Sean Payton for not getting more playing time. So he's been back to Minnesota since. But I did not look at it from that angle, Tony Lowe. You're on live with your man Louie T. Who am I speaking with? Hello? All right, getting some people calling in but not saying a word. Rebe says 12-4 Eagles, so she does have them winning that Bears game. So she's got them at 12-4. She's got Dallas at 11-5, Redskins at 8-8, and the Giants at 3-13. These nicknames are crazy. She's got the Eagles, she's got the Cowgirls, the Deadskins, and the Midgets. I cannot with y'all, man. I can't. Double A says Eagles 10-6, Cowboys 10-6, Redskins 7-9, Giants 3-13. Let's see. Sean Mack says, I'll take a bat to anyone. Okay, he must have been having a conversation in. Cozy Rito says, what would you be willing to pay Dak right now? Not $40 million, but again, you know the rules to the game. You got to play it. Again, the next man up is the best man up. So he's going to get paid. What I would be willing to pay him would be right around like Derek Carr money. That's what I would want to pay Dak Prescott. Whatever Derek Carr got, that's what I would pay Dak Prescott. He's not taking that, though. Simple as that. I would pay him Derek Carr money. Whatever Derek Carr's getting, he just signed a deal, I think, last offseason. Whatever he signed for, sign Dak up for that, too. You're on live with your man, Louie T. Who am I speaking with? Okay. All right. Cody Smith says, our 3-piece pepper sauce and mofo, they talk bad about the fam. Hey, look, man. Like I said, we may be dysfunctional family members, but we still family members, man. At the end of the day, we hold it down for our own. Brittany Schaefer says, I think the Bills are going to the Super Bowl. Good for you. And, I'm a big Josh Allen fan. I thought he looked good in preseason game number 1, but it is preseason. So take it with a grain of salt. Redskins Pride WGIL says, In the case of Dallas versus Philadelphia, New York, and Washington, Dallas, you are not our family. Oh, so he's coming with the, you are not the father paternity test. The 20th Mike says, oh man, what did I just do? Okay. I don't know what I was doing just now. All right. The 20th Mike says, I feel like we have no good depth with our receivers. They are not athletic enough and lack speed for all of that 3-13 for the Redskins. We got speed at receiver now. Now, the depth may not be the greatest. We'll see. That remains to be seen. That's why we have a young team. But we have speed. All of our receivers can run for the most part. We don't have anybody that's lacking in the foot speed department these days. Paul Richardson can run. Trey Quinn isn't the fastest guy in the world. Neither is Cam Sims. But Cam Sims isn't slow. Neither is Trey Quinn. Paul Richardson can run. Terry McLaurin can run. And Robert Davis can run. So we got some guys that can move now. Wahoo Brad 24 says, I'm not too optimistic about our Redskins this year either. I have them going 5-11. My predictions for the division: Eagles come in first at 10-6. Cowboys come in at second at 8-8. Redskins go 5-11 and come in third. Giants bring up the rear at 4-12. Cody Smith says, I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but what do you think about Washington going after Byron Jones because Dallas isn't going to re-sign him? I think he's a good lockdown corner. Only 2 picks in his career, though. I'm kind of mixed on Byron Jones. I think he's a really good football player, but what he's going to end up getting on the free agent market, I don't know if the Redskins need to invest that on a corner. I think they need to spend their money elsewhere. So I'd let him sign somewhere else. I think you're right. I don't think the Cowboys can afford to keep Byron Jones. With the money they're going to have to pay Dak and pay Zeke and Amari Cooper, I think Byron Jones may be the odd man out. Cozy Rito says, what's your thoughts on Dexter Lawrence? I think his potential can only be fulfilled if he drops 30 pounds. If not, he's just going to be a nose tackle. And in this league, that's I actually am a huge Dexter Lawrence fan. I actually think he could stay right at the weight he's at. Maybe drop 5 or 10 pounds, but not 30 pounds. I think he was 340 at Clemson. Maybe 330, 325 at this level. He can be a dominant nose. And not just the nose, first and second down, no pass rush ability. I actually think he could be a problem. I know Grady Jarrett isn't the same size, but Grady Jarrett is a big defensive tackle that just got paid by the Atlanta Falcons, and his sack total has increased every single year. I think he started out with 2 sacks, then 4 sacks, and then I think he had 8 sacks this past year. I could see Dexter Lawrence having that kind of an impact as a two-way player, not just a run stuffer, but also a guy that can get after the quarterback. I'm a huge Dexter Lawrence fan. I actually think he was better than the other Clemson defensive tackle in Christian. So I think you got the better of the two, but we'll see. B says 3 OG calls in a row. Oh, man. Nick Riley says, I swear where we were talking about the last streams, Sean is the injury reaper, man, always telling how and what week is going to happen. That's what I'm saying, man. This dude is putting people down left and right. What are you doing, guy? You can't be the injury reaper, man. We supposed to be speaking that into existence. I don't want to see anybody get hurt. This man is telling us how it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. Think it's going to happen in week 6. The Cowboys are going to get him. Whoa, wait a minute, Sean Mack. What are we doing right now? Reby says, I'm so tired of people bringing up Wentz's injury history, understandably, but more wishful thinking than facts. Wish on this conversation will go on all the way into the playoffs. I think he's going to stay healthy. As I said earlier in the show, I think he's going to stay healthy. But Reby, that's going to be a topic of conversation until he stays healthy. You can't bypass that. It is the elephant in the room. He's been hurt the last 2 seasons. He's got to stay healthy. If he can't, then your season goes up in smoke. So I know you don't want to hear that, but that's a part of the conversation when it comes to your Eagles. Farrah Cody says, I bet we win the first game versus the Eagles. I hope you're right. We owe them for 2 years ago what they did coming into FedEx and beating us in week 1. Let's see. As Sean Mack says, as a Buckeye fan, no way do I want to see Haskins on the field before the Redskins bye week. He'll be in before then, I believe. Sean Mack says, if Carson Wentz stays healthy, the Eagles are 12-14. Sean Mack says, this high-octane offense, NFL, is just a fad. It'll go away. The Patriots prove once again, run game and defense wins championships. Derek B says, the Cowboys fans are in denial if they think Zeke comes in for a penny less than girly money. History repeats itself. The Cowboys start 0-2 and Jerry folds like a lawn chair. We've seen that in the past, going all the way back to Emmitt Smith once upon a time. They started 0-2, and I think they even lost to the Redskins that year, in a year where they had no business losing to the Redskins. And Jerry, like he said, folded up like a lawn chair, gave Emmitt his money, and the rest is history. Y'all are hilarious in the comment section, man. Let's see. Sean Mack says, oh yeah, remember 2 years ago, Washington wide receiver P. Rich was a free agent. I was screaming for my Browns to get him. I think he'll do well for y'all this season if he stays healthy. If he's healthy, the guy can ball. Nick at Night says, Eli will be on the bench no later than week 4. I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all. Cody Smith says, I can't wait to see Landon Collins on the field in the burgundy and gold. He grew up a Redskins fan. I'm expecting big things from Broski. I think he's going to have a really good impact on his team as well. I do too. All right. Skipping through the comment section, trying to find any more comments. I love the fact that y'all chopping it up amongst each other, man. Look like y'all having a blast in there. I love that. Let's see. Y'all stupid. I can't with y'all, man. Y'all are dumb. Let's see. Sean Mack says, I got your Redskins started 0-5 before getting a win week 6 against the Dolphins. Nah, man. We going to win a game before then. We going to beat somebody before the Dolphins game. Daquan Smith said, I'll tell you this much. If we start out 0-5, hell, if we start 0-3, if we start 0-3, Haskins is starting week 4 at the Giants. We start 0-3, Haskins is starting week 4 at the Giants. I feel confident in making that assessment. If the quarterback is to blame. Now, if let's say, Case Keenum is going out and the offense is scoring 31 points a game, but the defense is giving up 34, then no, that's not the case. But how realistic is it that Case Keenum and this offense is putting up 31 a game the first 3 weeks? Eagles, Cowboys, and Bears. Not happening. So, anyway. Daquan Smith says, if the Cowboys lose Zeke and our defense wins a game versus Philly week 1, even if Haskins start, I got us with a chance to start. He said, I got us with a chance to start hot. I got us beating the Cowboys in week 1. If we find a way to beat the Eagles in week 1, or excuse me, I got the Cowboys, us beating the Cowboys in week 2. If we beat the Eagles week 1 and we start 2-0, shit, man. That Monday night game versus the Bears, that's going to be lit. Not happening, though. You're not going to suck me in. Silver V says, whoa, I'm surprised that you are so down on your Skins. They're going to win 6 games because the division is bad. I see 8-8 for Dallas and the Eagles winning 10. Well, I got us winning 7. You said 6. So I'm not as down on them as you are. Let's see. All right. Continuing to read comments. Love the fact that y'all chopping it up in the comment section, man. That's beautiful. I love seeing that. All right. Continuing to read comments. Seeing if there's anything for me in particular. All right. JP says, 2 questions for you. Would it put a smile on your face if Haskins came in and led us to some wins? And do you see Landon Collins as a defensive player of the year candidate in 2019? No on the last question in terms of Landon Collins being a defensive player of the year candidate. I don't see that happening. I see him being a very good piece for this Redskins defense. I don't see him being a defensive of the year candidate, defensive player of the year candidate. But yes, it would put a smile on my face to see Haskins come in and win some ball games. That's definitely, I think, what Redskins fans want to see. More importantly, though, than winning games is him playing well. You want those good performances to end in victories from a confidence standpoint. But yes, it would put a smile on my face for sure. Sean Mack says, have you noticed that almost all the best teams in the NFL have an Ohio State player as a captain or one of the top 3 players on their teams? Coincidence? Hell no. Only you would bring something up like that, Sean Mack. JP says, I also have to ask this. Do you see the Skins acquiring a big-name wide receiver like A.J. Green at the trade deadline or stick with the young guys we have? I don't see the Redskins doing anything of note at the trade deadline. I think they're building this team through the draft with a young core, and I think they're going to continue to do what they've done. The Redskins haven't been big players in free agency. They haven't been big trading partners. You know, they may trade a mid-round pick here or there in the draft as they've done the last 2 years, but outside of that, you're not going to see the Redskins make any real big splashes. And A.J. Green, I can tell you this with 100% certainty. He's the type of player the Redskins have been staying away from in free agency. They've been going after young guys that are going into the prime of their careers, in their mid-20s or so. Not guys that are at 30 or above 30 as A.J. Green will be this upcoming season. That's just not the direction that they're going in. Nick Riley says, Lou always been rocking with you from the jump and will never stop, always bringing the best content and showing love to the ones that rock with you forever, man. Hey, that's what we do here, man. That's what makes it the best. You know what I mean? You guys continuing to support, checking out the content, and chopping it up, man. All right. My man Rick was talking about Skyping because his phone ain't working. Bruh, you in a whole different stratosphere right now, man. Sean Mack says, Urban Meyer for Redskins head coach in 2020. I'm good, man. Herb be looking like he about to pass out on the sidelines from a migraine headache. I'm good, man. I don't want that on my conscience. He can't handle the college game. Ain't no way in hell he can handle the NFL game. All right. All right, let's see. Sean Matt says, our bro Ricky was the one trying to call in. Just connection isn't working well. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Ricky L says, damn phone bill. I didn't know what the hell. Hey, the struggle is real, man. I didn't know who the hell that was trying to call in. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, damn, somebody trying to get in here. Atlas says, what are the chances Bruce Allen is fired after this season, and what does the record need to be? I felt like last year was the year to get rid of Bruce, man. The morale of the team was down. The morale of the fans was down. There wasn't much hope at the end of last season. Ticket sales were down. Attendance was down. TV ratings for the Redskins locally was down. Everything was pointing in the wrong direction. and Bruce didn't get fired. As a matter of fact, I don't want to say he was promoted, but his power within the organization was at worst strengthened. So I don't want to say he was given any other titles than what he already had, but his power was strengthened after the amount of guys that were fired that Bruce didn't really like and didn't think was doing a good job. So I don't really know if there's a number that could get Bruce out of there. I think Bruce, I didn't believe this until last year, and there were Redskins fans that were telling me this, and I didn't want to hear it because I didn't want to believe it. But it was Redskin fans last year that were saying that Bruce has a job until he doesn't want to have a job. You know, he's a Redskin president until he doesn't want to be the Redskins president any longer. And I just didn't want to believe it. Last year, to me, showed that if Bruce wants to be the Redskins president and wants to run the organization, Dan is going to let him for as long as he likes. I think that Dan is comfortable with Bruce being the mouthpiece of the organization. We know Dan doesn't like to be in the public's eye, and I think he likes to allow Bruce to do that. So I don't think there's any number. The Redskins could go 1-15, and I'm not sure that Bruce Allen. They would blame Jay Gruden. They would blame somebody else. They wouldn't blame Bruce Allen. I don't think there's a number that the Redskins could achieve, and they're not going to be that bad. We've seen in the past that the Redskins at their worst are a 5-11, 6-10 team. So I don't think there's a number that can get Bruce the hell out of here. So I just don't think he's getting fired. Stacy Shakur says, with Keenum starting a good run game, an incredible pass rush, and better tackling, this organization wins 10 games. Plus Hamilton, McLaurin, or Moreland are game changers. Everything would have to line up perfectly for the Redskins, and they'd have to take full advantage of every opportunity that comes their way in order to win 10 games this season. I just don't see injuries, or health. Let me just phrase it that way. I don't see the Redskins staying relatively healthy, winning a turnover battle on most weeks, having a plus or minus of 10 or better, which is what it's going to take, and having a top-rated defense. Let's say top 12 in the league. You have to have a top 10 to 12 rating on third downs, in addition to forcing turnovers, as I already mentioned, and then taking care of the football. And then you're going to have to run the football effectively, not be heavily penalized as we've been in the past. Just too many things have to line up for the Redskins to win 10 games. It's just too much. Playoff Skin says, when will the Cowboys fans not say it's their year, and when can we finally call them scrubs? When we get better than them, we can call them scrubs. Sean Mack says, him and Haskins and McLaurin, y'all will be all right, LOL. We'll see. Billy Mitchell says, please be a little hopeful and excited. Haskins, Geis, McLaurin, Trey, People's Corner, Sweat, Bama, Wall, Reuben Foster, Landon. This is new for us. I'm excited about the future, but the future isn't 2019. I already talked about how excited I am about the future. I think it's bright for this Redskins football team. I just don't think it's in 2019, So I'm excited about the future of this football. And that, you didn't even name Bryce Love in that mix. I think Bryce Love's going to be a hell of a pickup for the Redskins. He may not play in 2019. He may play in the latter half of 2019. I'm excited for him nonetheless. I'm excited about this team, just not excited about the prospects of winning in 2019. That's all. John Dunn says, if healthy and Dwayne Haskins plays well enough, throughout the preseason, he says, to become the starter week 1, I have the Eagles going 12-4, Redskins 10-6, Cowboys 9-7, Giants 7-9. We'll see. I don't see that happening, but anything is possible. Ricky L says, Nick and Louie T, check out Twitter afterwards for my notes. Oh, you went on Twitter? I'll check your notes right now and see what you talking about. See what you got. Let's see what you got. All I see is you were telling us about Twitter. And, you sent me a link. Yeah, to go on Skype. Oh, man. You guys are hilarious. Anyway, I think that's it in the comment section. I think we caught up on all the comments. Hey, really appreciate you guys chiming in. This was fun. This went a lot longer than I anticipated, but anytime it's the family, you know I go above and beyond the Call of Duty. Big shout out to all of you who have stuck it out with me throughout this entire stream. It's been a blast. You guys are the best. Can't thank you enough. This is going to be an intriguing season for the NFC East this year. Cannot wait. Bart Scott. Can't wait. Anything can happen. You know, Eagles can win the division. Cowboys can win the division. I think that's the extent of winning the division, but stranger things have happened. You know, every week I'm going to root like hell for the Redskins to win, and we'll see what happens. But this is going to be fun. It's going to be fun nonetheless. I can't thank you guys enough. Tomorrow we will do the AFC South. I'm all over the place with that division, man. I'm not going to lie to you. That shit is crazy. But we'll talk about that tomorrow. Same format. We'll preview the video at 8:30. Jump on live afterwards at around 9:15. And we'll do the AFC South. So for all of you out there, I'm your man Louie T signing off. Thank you guys for joining me. If it's not your man T, it's not the best NFL coverage it could be. Make sure, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the Louie T Network. Check out the podcast, Louie T Network podcast, available on Stitcher, Google Music Play, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, and of course the website, louietnetwork.net. Also, like the video, share the video, and once again, thank you guys for joining me. I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.